If you've ever wondered how many NFL teams have the referees in their pockets, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. I can imagine that Vikings fans today are none too pleased with yesterday's game. I'm sorry about that. I wish that I could change it, but I can't. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to trade this market today. We're going to make some money. We got 13 in the back. I hope y'all are ready.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, folks. Happy Friday. We did it. We made it to the end of the week. And more specifically, it's almost mice down, drinks up time. But before that happens, there's money to be made and there's trades to be executed. It's great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today. Crimp Biscuit, I absolutely love it. Is this bacon? Is this a bacon emoji in your message? You get extra points for that. We're going to start with the one-ups early. Carmen, it's great to see you. Shannon, welcome back. Let's go. Shawn Michaels, Robert, Mitch, Jeff. I love that Jeff Bezos comes in and chills and watches our stream. Shout out, Jeff. Beach Bum Trading, Big Bees, AC2000, Wiss, William, Jay Harris, Alex, Sydney. Oh, the team's all here. Let's bring on 13 and make it a big happy family. 13, how are you doing here today, boss?
I'm hanging in there. I'm probably sounding a little bit worse than I was yesterday. That's to be expected. I'm going to try to recover over the weekend, but let's see if we can get any trades in here before I probably go and take another nap.
You are fake news.
That is fake news. You sound just fine. So we're going to go ahead and make some money here today. Crow, Deborah, Joey, Eli, ADW, Texas, Alejandro from Paraguay. Oh, let's go. We're all fired up today. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the SPY. So we're pretty much still in the exact same area. We actually didn't do much damage to the daily chart yesterday with the travel, even though we sold off, bounced a little bit at the end. We're still above the 20-day moving average, and we're still right below the 582.30 level that you had identified here. Pretty low volume yesterday, almost 35 million. That includes the after-hour session. But what do you make here today with the market and with the SPY? I know we're trading up here in the pre-market.
Yeah, yesterday during happy hour chat, I was talking about these last 2 days that we had, where we had some pretty long wicks on the bottom there, and I was saying that we might get a reversal as a result of this. And sure enough, we're back above that 580.33 previous all-time high in the pre-market right now. So if we open above that, I would expect to try and it would get support if it trades down to that level. But that I think that 582.30 may be in play today if we continue to push up. So that recapture of that previous all-time high is certainly a good sign for the bulls.
Okay. We can go ahead and talk about, I think we're going to have a lot of time to talk about stocks that people want to talk about today, because honestly, the movers list, less than impressive here today. And you know what else? I'm not put off by that. I'm not disappointed in that, because we had another day this week where it didn't look like there was going to be a ton. And then we had a great day when the market opened. So I'm going to be as positive as I can, and we're going to talk about that. We are going to start with the biggest mover here of the day, which is also probably going to be the best opportunity for one of these small stocks. We talk about some of the bigger stocks like Capri and Tapestry here in a little bit. But UPXI, ticker UPXI, this is still stuck on Spirit Airlines. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Here we go. UPXI, you can see right here, we traded from a 2 handle here in the pre-market. We just topped 10, stocks up 258%. Oh my God, what is going on here? Let's take a look at the news here. UPXI to take action against apparent stock manipulation of fractional share roundup with a reverse stock split. 13, did you dive into this? What on earth is going on with this stock here today?
Yeah, so from what I understand, the reverse stock split, there was a the company was trying to execute a roundup of those shares, and they let me see if I can pull up the article here, because I don't think I can really explain very well how what's going on here, but it seems as though they when they did the reverse split, there were some roundup shares that were requested by brokerages. And that prompted UPXI to investigate that for potential stock manipulation. So I haven't looked too much into this, trying to wrap my head around it myself. but this actually just started taking off not that long ago, and we're already hitting some of the levels that I was able to figure out much sooner than what actually is going on with the company. And that first level that I'm looking at is going to be 1160. We're almost there. If we continue to move up and break through that 1160 area, this thing could go to 20. That's probably where I would draw the line at. If it goes to 20, great. I wouldn't be touching it after that. But this thing is just absolutely rocketing today, and I feel like at some point, this is once it's done making this big move, we're going to have a pretty ugly candle bringing this back down.
Yeah, I think that's really good stuff. Really quickly, just to kind of get this out of the way, Carmen, I noticed that nobody answered you, which I'm surprised. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. Who knows what movie that's from? That's got to be Jesus Christ Superstar, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure, Carmen. Anyway, nobody answered you. I hope that I got it right there. No, didn't mean to leave you hanging. Oh,
you got it right.
All right. Now, as far as UPXI goes here, we've had 3 different impulse moves. The thing that's like this first move here, this bit of impulse move on the news, okay, that I get. We really kind of consolidated nicely around this VWAP. This is actually a really great setup. And then bang, Smoke Tuna. I don't know if you're here. Bonjour if you are. Yes, he is. He will. I've noticed that he will often call these when you have something that's really kind of riding above a VWAP like this, and it really kind of sets up for the next one. Now we've had another one here where we didn't actually have the VWAP test, and it does appear like it's getting heavy. It looks like it hit your spot, stopped. So we'll see what happens. What I really here for a trade with this thing being up almost 300% here in the pre-market is a pullback, especially out of the open. I'm not sure that I really want to think, oh yeah, we'll probably have another 100% or whatever it is. So
yeah, I don't know that this is going to keep going like this at the open. So be careful with this one. This has already had a really good run, and it should come back in.
Okay, so we'll see. We'll see if we get that. This is the big mover, and it actually has a catalyst. I just want to look at this low float here, 773,000 shares in the float, not even a million here. Take a look at the short interest. There's some, although it's not much. And if we take a look at the financials, barely any cash here. Company burns as much cash as it has per quarter, so it's likely going to need cash at some point. We'll see.
Yeah, and that reverse split that's in question, that was a 1 for 20 that they executed on the 3rd.
Okay, boom. Smoke Tuna is saying he is guessing that this flushes at the open. I'll be honest.
It looks like it could do that.
And honestly, I would take that. I would not be upset about that even a little bit. That'd be good. And if it holds that VWAP, we might actually have a tradable setup there instead of trying to chase something that just keeps running away from us. Okay, next here on the list is going to be XPON. You can see this popped in the after hours, popped again here in the pre-market. I didn't see any news on this one, though.
No, we're going to have a lot of these no news movers this morning.
Okay, so just kind of looking at some of the breakdown here, 539,000 shares in the float. So again, another micro float here. On average, stock trades just about 1.5 million shares. Tell me how that's possible. You're telling me the float gets rotated every day on average? Something else is going on there. We talked about that in happy hour lull. Also today, we have 14.5 million shares traded. So we are way above the average volume. We'll see if this continues here. Did you have any levels that you wanted me to identify here on XPON?
I didn't look. Let me see if I have anything here for XPON, since I believe this is something we've been trading quite a bit. No, I don't really have anything. I could come up with some later on before the bell. But they did a 1 for 100 reverse split on the 9th. So regaining compliance, probably going to need to raise cash at some point soon. That's going to be how it is with the next 2 that I have. Well, at least one of them, but we'll get to that in a second. So that's XPON. I'll give you some levels in a little bit.
Okay, next one. We don't probably need them until we actually start trading it here. Save is going to be the next one here. This is Spirit Airlines. You can see this has been a saga. Let me tell you that. This actually popped in the after hours yesterday, and it looks like it's ramping here today. Spirit Airlines shares are trading higher after the company announced the sale of 23 Airbus 320 vehicles. It also announced job cuts. It's doing everything it can to stay liquid so it does not have to go to bankruptcy. I don't know if it's going to work, but it is inducing a move higher here, and it is inducing a move on volume here as well. Save just taking out the 3 handle. If we look at the 15-minute chart, you can see what this did here. Really, the next spot here, 320. I absolutely think that gets tested today. I don't know if we break out and trade above that today, but I definitely think that gets tested. You can see on the 15-minute chart, we actually have a series of higher lows. That's really good too. Let's see if we can break out here on SABE. 13, did you have anything on this that you wanted me to cover?
So the 23 aircraft that they are selling, that is out of a fleet of 197, and they are a Airbus only airlines. So that's that's just a little bullet point there for you. They have a high short interest. Looks like the last print we have here is a 33.7% with 3.92 days to cover. So we are getting a little bit of squeezy action here as well. I don't know how this is going to appease their lenders or avoid bankruptcy, but if they can afford to offload that and keep the lights on, then that's what they got to do. I don't think that Frontier deal goes through. I think that was just something to move the stock up.
I think you're right about that. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Next on the list here, SGBX. This is Safe and Green Holdings, and we have the dreaded almost 100% retrace off the pre-market move. So in the pre-market here, this thing ripped from $1, spiked up to $3, found some resistance, came back to the VWAP. Now we're breaking away from the VWAP, and we've almost retraced the entire move here. Taking a look at the news, again, this kind of fits into the theme. No news here. I don't really know what's going on here. What say you, 13? I mean, it's got a little bit of short interest here, 1.6 million in the float. So maybe one of those that's kind of able to be pushed around. What do you think on this one?
Yeah, don't have any news on it. This is a company that uses containers to build homes, offices, things like that. They have 1.68 million shares in the float. They did a 1-for-20 reverse split on May 2nd. And tell me if you heard this before. The company looks like they need cash because they are moving through about almost 4 million a quarter. That's down off of previous quarters, fortunately, but still they're losing money, and they have about $1 million on the balance sheet as the last report.
Okay. Smoke Tuna blessing this one. SGBX, no touch. We'll see if that changes here. But Smoke Tuna, I'll be honest, just kind of looking at the pre-market activity here, I'm with you on that one. We'll look for something else. Next here, looks like this list is changing up on me. So let's go ATNF. At this point, we're calling ATNF an ex-girlfriend. This is one that we have been dealing with here recently. Is there news on this? Indeed, PR just a few minutes ago. El Rey Resources complete sale of proprietary technology to 180 Life Sciences to assist in the launch of its iGaming blockchain casino.
This one. I forgot about it.
So anyway, we're up 43% here. To be quite honest with you, I'm going to let this news settle. We'll see what we get here around the open, but saw a nice little impulse move, consolidation around VWAP, and when the volume really poured in here, higher we go. 6 prints the high here. We backed off that spot. We'll see what's next. You got any predictions here or anything on ATNF?
Didn't cover this one, but this is something we traded 9 days ago, and this was that biotech company that was apparently picking up some gaming platform that had us scratching our heads. So, well, here we are, back up 45% again. I don't think we're going to see the high 17s like we had before, but this depends on how crazy things want to get today. I don't think there's really anything that has any fundamental makes any fundamental sense to trade today. So. That's moving, and you know what I mean. But I don't know that this is going to really go very far. I feel like this is just old news. This whole stock,
we'll see. We'll see. It's pulling back here to the VWAP. I want to see if we get a setup here. Let's see what the chat says. Carmen saying ATNF is going to be the one. I think you mean that you're recommending selling. You're going to have to clarify that because I don't want to misspeak on that one. Let me know. Okay. Next on the list here, we did say Faraday Futures, FFIE. I almost called it Firefly, and that would have been embarrassing. But here we go. FFIE, we've traded this one a whole bunch here. This really active pre-market it looks like this was the 4 a.m. open, right? Indeed. And the volume has stayed the entire pre-market, really hoping that happens again here once we get the opening bell. Did we have anything here? Yes. Faraday Futures signs, this might have been from yesterday though, reported earlier. Yeah, Faraday Futures partners with UAE's royal family for strategic expansion in Ras Al Khaimah. I probably pronounced that incorrect. Looks like we got the PR at about midnight Eastern time last night. That's why stock's up 23% after hours here. We've traded this one a whole bunch. Floats about 12.5 million. What say you, 13?
Didn't really cover this one. We already know what this is. So I don't have really an opinion on this one. The only other two that I took a look at were UAVS and that one that we talked about yesterday, CPRI, that, basically it's down like 50%.
We're going to that next.
Okay.
Here's the UAVS chart. We're going to do CPRI next, and then Tapestry is kind of related to that. But this is about all we've got on here, so I think we're going to do that. I got an honorable mention, then we're going to go do that one.
Perfect. So yeah, UAVS not really moving on any news. They did do a 1 for 50 reverse split on the 15th. That's after they did a 1 for 20 earlier this year on February 9th. They do so now. They are at 850,000 shares in the float. I would say they need to raise cash, but their cash position isn't reflected. It hasn't been, they haven't had earnings, so they haven't reflected their current cash position, which should be 6.5 million higher as they raised capital through with a company called. Give me 1 second here. I just had it. I'm sorry. I don't have. I seem to have lost. Where that was Spartan Capital. Sorry.
It's okay.
So that's the situation there. I don't think they're in any need of having to raise cash. So this low float stock might be a better one to trade, even though there's no news on it.
Okay. There you go. Honorable mention here, IBRX. This looks like a continuation from yesterday. Didn't see anything fresh. And then also NXL. This ran in the after hours yesterday. So far, it's holding its gain. So we'll see what happens here today. But again, there was nothing. Oh, it looks like there is a PR here. Interview Air Red Chip stocks. Okay, this is just this is a PR that they're doing an interview on Bloomberg TV. This did move yesterday. In the afternoon, it was halted, and then it went more in the after hours. Excuse me. Okay, let's talk about CPRI now. Looks like there's several people that are kind of waiting for this. CPRI, what's going on here? This thing fell while we were in happy hour yesterday. We were like, wow, this stock is down 50%. Talked a little bit about this. Capri holding shares are trading lower following a report alleging that a judge blocked the company from being acquired by Tapestry. The company intends to jointly file Tapestry a notice of appeal regarding the court's decision. So that decision has come out. I know that read like it was alleging. We confirmed that, right? That that decision came. We'll see what happens on the appeal. But that's what's going on here with Capri. Real quick, just to kind of give you some context around this. Capri is a holdings company or a parent company here. Michael Kors, Versace, and Jimmy Choo are the brands. Those are the bigger brands. I believe there are some other smaller brands in there. And they were merging with Tapestry, which is ticker TPS, I think. Let me see which they had it in here. TPR, I beg your pardon. So Tapestry is another one. This Coach, Kate Spade, Stuart Weitzman as its brands here. Tapestry, you can see up 13%. Capri down almost 50%. 13. How do we make sense of this?
So CPRI really needed this deal to go through. They're not in a great position right now. And the reasoning for the judge blocking was it's very eerily similar to the reason that the whole JetBlue Spirit Airlines deal fell through. They felt that it was going to hurt the consumer. They were going to create this bigger company that could just raise prices and sort of make an issue out of not having enough cheap flights available for for lower income folks. Here we are again with the same, very very much a similar thing. These two companies, they were going to combine to create a large luxury brand, luxury goods conglomerate, and the court said no, and they cited the complete opposite reasoning for why CPRI and Tapestry wanted to merge. They think it's they're gonna raise prices on consumers, and so they basically nixed the deal there. So that's why this is down. And we could end up seeing a lot more of these M&As similar to this one fall through, depending on who is in the White House over the next 4 years. So that's something to keep in mind. That depending on who's running the show, there might be either M&As going through or a lot of them not happening. If it's the case where a lot of them aren't going to happen, there might be maybe looking to other countries like the European Union or Japan for those M&As to go through. So that could be a theme going forward.
Very good stuff there. Do you have any trade plan here on Capri? I know when we were in the happy hour, we had a gentleman that said they're waiting for 15 to 17, then we'll probably buy it for a bounce here. I think Joel earlier on pre-market prep hinted that he was, I don't want to speak for him, but he hinted that he might be interested in playing this for a bounce. So I'm just wondering, I mean, I'm definitely going to watch this today and see if this bounces here. We've had some pretty good luck with bounce plays that have really been shellacked, but what say you, 13? You're watching this at all? You thinking about trading this at all, or is this just a no touch for you?
I think that some of these other movers might give us some better trading momentum. I don't know what CPRI is going to do now, but as we saw with Spirit Airlines, that thing didn't go up very much afterwards. It had a bounce, so I could see that happening, but eventually it's just going to end up going lower.
Okay. Replay Game Lab saying, who gets hurt if Kate Spade bags are twice the price?
Husbands.
I was just going to say, I think husbands, because those gifts are going to be the exact same bag for twice the price. Yikes. Okay. Comp saying no touch on CPRI to me. Comp, I know you're mostly a shorter and this thing is down 50%. So I think I probably agree with you there. I would not go after more of it. One thing that I will say here, though, is we can always watch this relationship, maybe ticker TPR, which is Tapestry. Might give you a short setup. You tell me. I'd be curious to know how anyone is trading this here today. All right, Martin, you were asking for this one. There you go. We can flip back over to the big chart here, and we can take a look at any other stocks you want, folks. We did it. We were efficient today. 7 minutes left here. What stocks do you folks want to see? Jay Harris. Nobody is surprised to see that Jay Harris wants to talk about Tesla. The big notable thing here for me on Tesla, we did trade up to about 262 and change yesterday. This produced a triple top on the daily. I guess you could call that a quadruple top if you wanted. This is a potential breakout zone. So if Tesla has any strength today, let's see if we do break out from this area. I think 280 is probably next. If we pull back in, I mean, I don't think we're going to do that. But let's see if we pull back in, we are going to have some gaps and some moving averages to contend with. 13, do you have any trade plan or any impetus to go after Tesla, ticker TSLA here today?
Tesla could surely go higher. I don't know that we're going to necessarily get that today. There could be some more, cooling, some consolidation up in this area before that next move higher. That's what I would be looking for. So don't know if we'll end up getting that exactly the way I'm thinking we will. Surely I was looking for 200 in this thing, didn't get that.
Yep. So
we'll see how this trades today, but it looks like we're going to open within inside the candle that we put in yesterday. So it looks like 160 could be the big resistance area in the morning.
Okay. Really good stuff there on Tesla. Smoke Tuna mentioning NXL. Good one here. This, again, was Lynn and Randy, if you folks are out there, you folks did mention this yesterday in the after hours. It looks like we are kind of curling back up here. 260 looks to be a spot on NXL. Let's call it 275 as well. And then the pre-market high here of 285. We'll see if any of those get rolling here today.
Yeah, I think this is moving on relative volume. I don't see any direct. Well, yeah. I mean, you tell me. Is this? I don't know that this is. I guess they do have some news. The Redshift companies will air interviews with Nexalin Technology and Kalidi Biotherapeutics on the Redshift Small Stocks Big Money Show on Bloomberg TV tomorrow. That's the news.
That's the news.
Okay.
Bye.
Here we go.
I mean, I don't even know what to say. Oh, and I see a number of you folks are mentioning MNPR. This would actually be worth mentioning here. This thing was ridiculous. We actually talked about this in happy hour too. Some of the 40-year vets that spend time in our happy hour are saying, guys and gals, when we see several of these stocks per day do these kind of moves, that literally means that we're at the top. So it does look like we're approaching that. This was absolutely wild yesterday. I'm not trying to necessarily trade this right out of the gate here today. We'll see if we catch another MNP runner here today. Smoke Tuna reminding you that he had a call on MNPR when it was below 6. Lynn and Randy, again, I believe their entry was at 9, Smoke Tuna. So I don't know if they bought it off of your call, but I know that they did very well in it. And we're hoping that they are still doing well in it. Okay, there was another stock that was mentioned. We got plenty of time too. Still got 4 minutes here. Let's go. We are crushing it here today. Where was that other one? GovX. Is this a penny? If this is a penny stock, I'm going to be upset. Okay, it's not a penny stock, so I'm not upset. 217. Don't really see anything going on here. We're kind of wondering why you're asking about this one. Let's look at the daily chart here. This looks like just kind of it's basing off of a recent run, reverse split. I don't really know what's going on here. If you can give me some more context, we can come take a look at this, but I don't see anything going on here today. Palantir also got mentioned. Jay Harris. Oh, no. There is no try, excuse me, saying this is going to 45. Yo, this daily formation right here, impulse move, pullback, not breakdown, and a return back to the high. Yeah, I would imagine that this test here, 44.5 is coming here. If we pop that, maybe we do go to 45. Remember the butterfly that we're still in, that's really cooking up about 100% now. The body of that butterfly is 45, but the expiry date is December, so we really kind of need it to get closer to December for us to be able to do that. DLR, you guys really came hot and heavy with the tickers here today. Digital Realty Trust, I'll be honest, I'm sorry, I don't know much about this. Digital Realty Trust shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 FFO results and raised fiscal year 24 FFO guidance. So that's what you're getting here. This is 181, big pop, nice looking breakout here above the double top that would have formed. What do you have here?
You know about this one. Stay focused. I brought this one up when we were talking about the infrastructure or the AI infrastructure.
The data center. This was
data center.
This is a data center REIT. No wonder that makes. Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
So that's what this one is. This is going to be heavily affected by rate cuts in the sense that if we do get those rate cuts, this is going to go higher as these do happen with the REITs. I haven't looked into the news about why we're up here, but I mean, this is right inside the whole AI theme. So it's not surprising that this is running. It could absolutely break that high that we put in back in 2022 in January. Yeah, it could certainly get back up there probably sometime next year, maybe even by the end of this year. But
Lynn and Randy was just mentioning you in and out. Go hockey tonight. Indeed. In fact, I got my Blackhawks shirt on. I got my Blackhawks socks on. I'm ready to go, Lynn and Randy. Also, congrats yesterday on MNPR and good mention on NXL. Okay. We're about to open here. Sorry if we didn't get to your tickers. If they start moving around today, we can absolutely cover them. Curious to see what everyone is getting. Let me get my main profile up here. 13. I'm going to grab my T real quick. I'm going to put UPXI here. I'll be
okay, and I was getting asked about the Newell brands, NWL, what I thought about it. It looks like $9 is a breakout level. So you want to mark that off on your chart, on a daily chart. You can see what I'm talking about. And we are open. Here we are, UPXI, trying to get support from the VWAP. I'm going to wait and see what happens here. Don't like the way the MACD looks. XPON, this one's beneath VWAP. Let's see if we can try and push above it. The VWAP I have is at 504. I haven't actually put in some of these other numbers here. Hold on a second. That's GPX. How's that one looking? That one isn't looking great out of the gate. I think that's the one that's that we were probably wanting to avoid, right?
I think UPXI is going to halt here.
Nice. UABS not doing anything at the moment. UPXI is halted.
Boom.
I mean, if we unhalt and we take out that 1180 pre-market high, I think that it could definitely try to make a run for 20.
Okay, I did something I probably should not have done, by the way. I did buy some of that UPXI right before the halt. So as it was rocketing up, I was like, I'll just take a little bit of this. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know. We'll wait for that to unhalt. What else we got moving around here? Tesla moving up off the gate. I don't think we're surprised at all to see that.
XPON popped the VWAP, came back in, still kind of flat on at the open here. SGBX looks like that's starting to head lower. Same with UAVS. That's all I've got there. Let me put up CPRI, see what we get out of that one.
Okay.
Even though I don't think it's starting to turn up.
Here we go. CPRI.
EDBL says crimp biscuit. Looks familiar to me. Sure, we've traded Edible Garden. Okay, yeah, this is one we traded before. It's a penny stock. This one's pushing, trying to push over its VWAP, kind of getting some resistance there. Pre-market high on this one is 41.68. That's 41 cents and 68.
Okay.
Looks like
CPRI is continuing to trade up here. Wow.
Yeah, rebound.
Yep. Newell Brands NWL looks like this had a little dip to the VWAP and move. IBRX I saw was on our list earlier. That's actually above the VWAP, testing 5. UAVS is holding, needs to take out 2 to go higher. MNPR, big runner from yesterday, actually red out of the open here. Joby trying to bounce after it's moved down after the offering last night. Joby.
Let's take a look at Archer, see how they're reacting to that Joby news.
Oh, by the way, another discussion from Happy Hour that I kind of wanted to bring to the chat here. We discovered yesterday a new AI stock, and I don't know if it's going to work, but I don't know much about it, and I'm going to start doing some research and start following this. I took a little bit of this right out of the open. I have a fraction of a position. Okay, this isn't even 10 or 20% of a full position. I grabbed just a very little bit just to make sure that I track it. And if it goes absolutely buck wild, I'll at least have some exposure. But NBIS Nebius Group, this was a new issue discussed yesterday on Happy Hour. I'm bringing it to you folks here today.
Yeah, this company used to go under a different name, different ticker. And because of the Russia-Ukraine war, they had to move out of Russia, and they're now in the Netherlands, I believe. Is it the Netherlands?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So that's what's happening with that one. So that could be, I think one of the big question marks we have is how much of their money that they had made it out of Russia when they moved. I think that's the big question we're wondering about that we need to look into with that one.
Yeah, because so basically what they were saying here is that they have $2 billion in cash. But what other people are saying is, is that $2 billion in cash from Russian assets that you can't get, or can you actually get that?
Right.
And that's the rub right there.
Yeah. Getting a mention on EFSH.
Jay Harris is already banking this morning.
Oh, nice.
And it's banking on. Look at Tesla, dude. Look at this. I should have grabbed this one. I know I grabbed that halt gamble out of the open here, but good Lord, Tesla ripping right to the yesterday's intraday high. Let's see if it breaks out from here, or if it finds some resistance there.
Carmen, that was N as in Nancy, BIS.
Yeah, sorry, NBIS, November Bravo India Sandy.
So with EFSH, if we, it's getting a pullback here after hitting 380, but if it, makes another move up, I'm looking at the high from yesterday at 458. That would be that'd be my upside target if we can get back over VWAP and trade up. XPON still trying to get back above VWAP. SGBX lower. UAVS sideways. CPRI. I don't know. It's it looks like it could go higher. I would say maybe somewhere around 24. 40, 24.50 might be the earliest resistance area.
Save going higher here out of the open.
IBRX also moving. This has a pre-market high of 549. We're almost there. If it breaks that, I'd be looking at 580.
IBRX Immunity Bio. This is one that it was an honorable mention, and it is popping, going to those pre-market highs. Look for some resistance right here. VKTX continuing. I know we had a number of chatters. Jay, shout out to you yesterday. Just a monster move there. A monster good day. VKTX looks like some more continuation here today. XPON back to its VWAP.
Let me just post something in here for y'all if you want to have a place to look at where what Spirit Airlines has for their inventory as far as aircraft go.
Palantir 44 Prince, appreciate the link there. 13, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know if I start getting filled on that Palantir. I'm still on the offer, trying to sell those butterflies. So I'll let you know if I get any of it filled.
XPON, this is moving through V up right now with a bit of authority. Looks like 565 is going to be the spot to break out of. That has been kind of the area for pre-market and from the high from the after hours yesterday. UABS also getting to going here.
Here is UAVS. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Some of these
still waiting for UPXI to unhalt.
Yeah, just had to wait for some of these to decide what they're going to do. XPON, that's moving up to the 565 area. Still no movement out of SGBX. This one looks like it could end up going down to $1.
By the way, that SGBX, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Smoke Tuna say that was a no touch, and it has gone straight down from the open and from his call?
Yes.
Pretty sure that was the case.
And now you know that.
And now you know.
All right. So nice move with IBRX here. This popped over that resistance area I was just mentioning, got as high as 559, and then it came right back in. So we didn't get to that 580 that I was looking for. We did break that that level that we were talking about that was being put in the pre-market. Well, let's see what else we got here. So EFSH, that popped and came back in. Now it's VWAP. What is going on with UPXI? This is halted for quite a while now.
It's been halted for 9 minutes. I think there could be a 10-minute halt. Okay. Looks like at least per Benzinga Pro here, I have that halted at 9:30:29. So 29 seconds after the open, it halted. That should open here in 2 minutes.
Okay. Thought we were going to get a shorter halt than that.
A 5 min?
Yeah, I thought it was but must have been a different halt. Here we are with the XPON, almost there. Almost there.
Just hold them off for a few seconds, 13. Yeah. 550 looks to be the next spot there.
Yep. Well, for XPON, I'm looking at the 565, 566 area. Just from those the pre-market and the after hours highs, that we're almost right there.
Tapestry, the other stock related to CPRI here, this has actually dipped a little bit and moved above the VWAP and is trying to go higher. TPR, Tapestry.
All right, so we should be getting that unhalt with UPXI pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
And just looking around, not seeing much. It had some nice moves, but now I don't know what's going on next here.
Jack might be going higher. Is that the profit taker dipped and then moved higher?
Oh, FFIE. We haven't looked at that since the open.
Got it on screen.
Yep, that's getting sort of getting support from the 200 EMA on the 5 minute, but it is not looking like it will hold up. This needs to get back above VWAP. That's the first thing, and I think VWAP and the pre-market area where there was consolidation that it's going to have a hard time with. It's about 235. IBRX now.
UPXI is open, sold half right there. Boom. Higher it goes. Going to be into a second halt. Bang, bang, bang. Oh man, that's how you start a day, folks. That is how you start a day right there. UPXI looks like we're going to get halted again here. Was able to take half the position off out of the first halt. Now we're protected. Got me higher, baby. Got me higher.
I guess this might be the MNPR of the day.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see what happens when we get out of here. When we get out of this halt, hopefully it's higher. Woo!
That's a good way to start the day.
Right at that pre-market high.
All right. So CPRI getting a little bit weak here now beneath VWAP. EDBL also beneath VWAP. IBRX trying to recapture VWAP.
Now the CPRI, sorry for being you were very quick with that, and I'm impressed. But this CPRI move, this is actually pretty good, right? We popped a little bit of an impulse move, pulled back to VWAP. So far, so good on the hold. We'll see what happens here.
You see that 2250 area that we got from about 7:30 in the pre-market? That seems like that's where it's currently getting some support.
Okay.
So if we can reverse there, that'll take us back over VWAP. We do have the 65 EMA and the VWAP right in the way of the upside. So it's going to be hard to get. And we need to see some volume expansion to get back up above VWAP and CPRI. EDBL, this one's starting to leak lower. IBRX, kind of wondering and watching if this is going to take us back up to 559 or not. Kind of
Bex and Smita mentioning DJT, which is vertical out of the open here. Now, here's the interesting part about this. We did print above, but we came right back to yesterday's intraday high. I don't think this is moving on any fundamentals, as we've discussed. So technicals only on this. And frankly, this area right here, definitely look at this. So the last several days, this was clearly a resistance area. Now, quote, does it act as support? If so, maybe we hold this area and higher we go. Good mention here from the chat. You guys are on stocks that are moving here today.
I think you're seeing that, and you're right. For DJT, True Social, there's no fundamental reason to own this, but it is moving, and I think because Trump is supposed to be on Joe Rogan tonight, so I think that's why
so let's talk about that. So Trump is on Joe Rogan. That interview gets released today. Joe Rogan is in the habit of releasing his interviews right around noon CST. So I don't know that that's when you can expect it, but that's when I'm going to be looking for it. Also, I don't know necessarily how to play this. There is a extremely high likelihood that today's podcast is going to be the most listened to podcast of all time currently. So I don't necessarily know how to play that. Maybe Spotify, because Joe Rogan is on Spotify. I have no position for it, just kind of spitballing, and I'm glad you mentioned that here today.
So if you want to try, maybe take a look at an alternative to possibly short. It's kind of hard to even suggest this, but you have Sirius XM radio that is not Spotify, that could probably do the opposite of what Spotify does.
Yeah, I don't even know. You know what? I would watch those. Those would be two stocks to watch. I don't know if there's going to be a reaction to that. I'm just speculating here based on all of the stuff I'm seeing on internet land and all of the stuff that's going on in this country right now. I suspect you're going to have eye-popping numbers from that interview.
Yeah, and just so you folks are aware, XM Sirius Radio is SIRI. That is the ticker.
Okay, there you go.
I was asking or getting asked about levels for UPXI.
Let's do it.
That first one that I got, that I was talking about it before we even opened this morning, that was a 200 EMA level. That was at 1162. So I was saying 1160 just to round it off. Now that we're through that and we're halted, but we're holding above it at the moment, I think that we're going to want to look at potentially 1350 as the next resistance area. One thing that I was also mentioning is that the weekly chart shows the 65 EMA is at $20.22. Not saying it's for sure going to go up there, but given the momentum and if we continue with this volume, I think it has a good chance of pushing up in that region. But 1350 is the first one that we got to get over.
Okay. Also, just kind of looking at the time here, this was halted the second time at 9:40:48. So it is 9:45:13 right now. So if it is a 5-minute halt, this is getting ready to open pretty soon. If it's a 10-minute halt like we saw the first time, we got another 5 minutes here for UPXI. I feel a lot less nervous about this one, having booked half the gains off that first pop. That's all. That's woo.
UABS. This is the one I liked. Got up to 262. That was the pre-market high. Came back in. Now we're trying to push through that again. There's a wall at 260.
Indeed, that UAVS, this volume pop here, higher than the first one too. This is a good formation. We'll see if we can get through there on that. Good stuff, folks. Tesla calls. I see Tesla calls literally flowing in, and look at the Tesla price. More new highs, 267 now. What a move from earnings here. By the way, we don't have Anne Marie today. Anne Marie will be back next week. No Anne Marie show after live trading here today, but. Are you folks glad that we had her do a Tesla trade? Because those things are printing today. printing. She did it again with her spots and all of that. It's just unbelievable. And that's another reminder. I know she's not here right now, but another reminder here that if you want to get access to all of her wisdom and trades, she has her own chat room in Benzinga Pro. She literally has her own chat room where she gives trades all the time. I know Amanda from our community comes in here all the time to talk about it. She does videos, prep videos. Folks, if you like Anne-Marie's content, you got to be a part of Pro. That's all I'm going to say. Tesla is on fire. Yes, it is, Comp. Yes, it is.
Smoke Tuna saying UPXI opening at 1350. Like, shut up. Are you serious?
That's the indication for opening. Let's go.
That's where I said we could go to. So hey, if that's the case, great. We'll see 20 today. Who knows?
Okay, I'm gonna get ready to dump most of my remaining shares here right out of the halt, and I'll keep a little trailer on and think in case things go MNPR style.
UAVS still more highs. This thing might get to 3. There is a wall at 290. A lot of shares to be sold, but chewing through that, we'll see 3.
Okay, there we go. Deborah's on it. Deborah,
nice.
Let's go. God, this is awesome. We've had I mean, maybe I don't want to be hyping here, but I feel like we've had a really awesome week here.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. This is especially today with how few things that we were seeing at in the morning, and then they just kind of started showing up right before the open.
Yes, and we even commented on it. Facts. Okay. Okay.
Looking, gosh, I don't want to say that it might be reversing, but Faraday Future FFIE, this is starting to look like that the current candle that it's in on the 5-minute chart might be a bottoming out candle. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not saying let's just jump right in here, but I'm watching this one. Maybe it goes down to 215, but it looks like it's trying to find a bottom. So let's see what we get out of FFIE.
Real quick, TCBP, I feel like we traded this one recently. This popped on volume into a halt as we speak. Here is your FFIE chart.
UAVS 285. So did run into that resistance around, or at least got some pressure getting up to 290. But that's the level to break right now is 290 in UAVS. EDBL looks like it's trying to turn around.
No, not now, not now. Oh, what did you do? Man, I just totally trying to get my other computer here, and it's Mac, and I did full screen, and I don't know how to exit full screen without pressing escape, and oh my God.
Gosh, gotta restart. So XPON halted to the downside. Yeah.
I'm so frustrated right now.
Throw something.
No. God, Mac, why do you do it?
DJT ripping now, 37.26 current high.
Smokes.
I'm not laughing at you.
Yes, you are.
Okay, you got me.
It's worth laughing at. I'm not even going to dispute you.
MNPR ripping as well.
I'm trying. Look, I've got one laptop here that I'm trying to switch to my dock. I got another laptop here. I'm all sorts of effed up right now, and I'm still waiting for this UPXI to unhalt. We're up big.
You're watching live trading with Ryan and Joe. All right,
okay,
UAPS might be coming back in a little bit. UPXI, it doesn't say that it's halted for me, but it does look like it's still halted. I don't know what that's about. EDBL might be turning. Let's see if it can get back above 25 cents. I don't even know why I have this on here. I don't like these penny names. Let's see here. Wow, DJT. So 38.50 is the next level I have for DJT to the upside.
TCBP resumed and went lower here. You're still waiting on UPXI. PHUN, is that moving? Yeah, that's moving higher here.
Oh, yeah, which is interesting too, because if the CEO is, I think he was retiring, right? I'm not sure how. I mean, it still might be attached to DJT, but gosh, the whole reason why funds started moving with DJT was because of the CEO. So some question marks there for me on how this is going to trade going forward.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
going forward, look, I'm watching the relationship until it's over, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, or whatever the saying goes. If it ends, it ends, and we'll reassess. But until then, I don't know.
IBRX almost to 580, still not giving up.
Jay Rice saying, I'd be careful with fun. Indeed, trade at your own risk there. Voodoo, I actually love my MacBook. I fumbled around and I was like under pressure and it started doing things. I couldn't figure out how to get it off. And I have a keyboard that it's just me being all over the place. That's all. It's a personal issue. It's operator error, as they call it. But now I'm in good shape. Now I'm in good shape. We just need UPXI to unhalt. And for whatever reason, it is not unhalting.
Well, it's interesting to me because on my broker, it doesn't show as I'm not getting that tag that it says it's halted, but it clearly is because I see no price action.
Yeah, I don't see any price action either. And I got it. I'm looking at it in the broker and also.
Oh, UAVS finished. That's a big knife right through VWAP too. I'll have to wait this one out for the next move, but for now, it's looking like it's going down. Did SMR do anything? No. It's
Jay Rice says Tesla. Who the hell was selling pre-market? And Anthony said Ross Gerber. Oh man, I don't think so. Isn't Ross like a Tesla fanboy? Pretty sure he wasn't selling pre-market.
Well, Ryan, I think your decision to pick up NBIS is looking pretty good. It's very slow moving.
Well, again, there's more research that needs to happen here. UPXI is open.
Holy crap!
Selling another part there, and it's halted again. Let's go, dude.
This is the MNPR of the day.
This is the MNPR of the day. We are out a majority of this position. We're actually out 90% of this position, folks.
Yep. So
we got a trailer on in case it goes ham.
All right. Yeah, it looks like, gosh, I guess 16 could be next, but I'm still thinking that with the way it's been trading, it could go to 20. All right.
And to be clear, I traded UPXI in my prop account, not in my regular account. So I see, Anthony, you're saying you couldn't even get into it. Maybe there's some type of restriction. Again, but the prop account, pretty good about that, was able to get filled early. I had to pay up for it after 2 halts to the upside. It turns out that paying up for it didn't really matter.
XPON is open and it is
let's take a look.
Yeah, it's below pre-market action anyway, so it might have a hard time reclaiming all the consolidation that it fell beneath.
NASDAQ futures absolutely ripping. ES futures also popping to the highs here. Looks like we got a good day on our hands. Comp, Ryan, I must say I enjoy listening to you, my man. That is probably going to be one of the nicer things that people says to me, Comp. I enjoy you trading with our group here because your calls are crispy and good. So
crispy calls.
Awesome. Absolutely love it. And like I said, folks, still investigating a podcast of multiple different. I want to do a podcast for stocks. I want to do a podcast for politics and current happenings. I want to do a podcast for sports talk and sports betting talk. And I really want to start featuring AB for the parlay giver on that. I haven't even asked him if that's going to be possible yet, but that's what I'm looking to do. So I'll keep you folks posted.
Hit the like for my ambitious guy, Ryan, looking to get in that podcast.
Hey, we always trying to keep irons in the fire, baby.
We be forging.
We be fortune. All right.
Yeah.
What happened with this? Oh, this is a takeover. Right. Okay, never mind. It's on IBRX. More highs here.
Looks like UAVS is getting some support from VWAP and it wants to try and go higher. Not sure about this. The volume needs to get a little bit better, but if it starts to push back up again, we have that 290 area we were talking about earlier. It looks like that's moved down. 272 might be the big resistance area. That's what I've got so far. But if we do break through these large sell orders and get up to past 285, I think we'll see 3.
I'm noticing that I'm seeing NVIDIA and Tesla call flow pretty good here from the unusual options. Oh my, what was that? on NVIDIA. Was that got to be a short-term one, right? That was 1,900 contracts. The 144 call that expires. Man, it just keeps running away from me here. Come on. The 144 call that expires today. He bought bigly. That tell you what, there's a ton of option flow. NVIDIA continuing to push to the highs here.
And good job, Jay Summers. He's killing UPXI there. All right, UAVS. Are we going to make it through that 290?
Jay Summers, hang on a sec.
All right.
We have a lot of register rings to give here. Oklo, also Parker's Thinkorswim indicator. I know you were mentioning OKLO. I saw there's option flow in this as well. So the option buyers here aggressive today and are driving some of these stocks higher. 13. I'm sorry for running you over there.
No worries. I don't even know what I was saying. What's Google going into earnings? So we could also talk about some other Mag 7s that are reporting next week as well, which are 5 of them. The only ones that aren't reporting are basically Tesla that we already know about and NVIDIA. So Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, those are all reporting.
Look at Palantir here, which is, oh my God, Palantir. Whose call was it earlier that said Palantir was going to print 45 today? Was that there is no try? Did you make that call? Because I'll be honest with you, I'm starting to think that you're right. 44.5 here on Palantir. We'll see if we print 45s.
You know what this tells me with because I asked about this earlier during happy hour. Does the whole nuclear theme move with the AI theme? And it seems like because the Qs, the Nasdaq's really moving. This is going with it. It seems like there's a little bit of a correlation there. As long as the AI theme is still hot, so could be the nuclear theme that's meant to power it.
Yeah, I'm with you, and we've talked about that one being kind of a long. UPXI is open, folks. Looks like it printed 14 there. It's trying to go higher here. There, it is all over the board. Is it going to halt here at 50? I'm still in my trailer piece because I've got so much book now. It almost doesn't even matter.
Now, if this comes back in, I think 12 might. That'd be the earliest support. Don't know if it'll provide it enough there, but it's looking like it's trying to decide if it's going to go higher or not. Still think if it's going to push up higher, 20's on deck.
Okay, we'll see where this settles here. This is kind of back and forth. Oh man, this has been a fun trade today. Let's see if this coming back in. This might halt to the downside.
Yep, that's the third halt that we had out of the open. So now this will be the fourth. Remember, we've traded some halts before. After the third halt, that tends to be where you might want to take a step back and let it do its thing.
Yep. So here we go. Halted again. Fourth trading halt of the day. UPXI. This time a downside halt. I'm still in my trailer. 12.91 your price there. We'll see what happens out of this. If it just kind of dips, I'll probably just scram on the rest of this here. Entry price on this was $10. So we're still up multiple points, even if it does come in a little bit lower. Stock profit out at 1406 UPXI. Ring that register, nice. Baby.
And the next PON, this is clearly going back down to probably $4 even.
XPON, let's take a look at that here. That's got a rough looking chart there.
Still waiting for a bottom in FFIE.
You guys are mentioning Link. What is good call? Interlink Electronics. Let's see what's going on here. Ticker Link. I don't have any news for this. Good shout, chat. Good shout. AF and X Sniper here in the chat. You guys. What is going on with this one? I don't see anything. Let's see if there's anything on the Twitter streets. A little bit of short interest, really kind of nothing going on in there. Insider buy in at the end of August.
It's not a stock, not a reverse split either.
Not a reverse split. It's got some cash. It doesn't burn a terrible amount of cash, so it probably doesn't need it right away. Good mention here. I got no link on this one. Link news 20 minutes ago. What am I missing? Where did you find that, Wiss? God, NQ. So real quick, so I'm gonna go look for that here real quick. But I know we've had kind of a busy morning right out of the open here. Look at the Qs. Look at tech out of the gate here.
Oh wow,
big rip here for tech, and SPY looks similar. We'll give you the SPY chart as well. Big move out of the open here. This SPY here right back to the highs that it put in on Tuesday.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to see if I could figure out what's going on with Link.
Good idea. If you let me know if you find it. See if I can check the Twitter streets. Michigan consumers. Oh no, that's serious. That's the Michigan 1-year inflation number that I'm seeing. I beg your pardon.
But yeah, I'll have to look and see what that news was that was linked. It might be too far down to see it.
Hashtag link. No, I'm looking on. This is how you do it. I don't see.
UAVS breakout says.
I'll put that on screen. Sorry, I'm looking at a different monitor. Let me put that up here.
It's looked like it's about to. So thanks for the early mention. It looks like we're about to try and take out that 290. At least that's what it's trying to do. And what are we going to get? They're starting to put some orders in front of it. We need a really big buyer to come in and take out that 290 wall. Link is halted. That's a fourth halt, right, for Link?
Yeah, fourth halt is what I have here. That Benzinga Pro reports the exact same thing. Still unable to find any news on this. I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter were reporting the halts and all that. So there's definitely people watching this, but I still have not come across anything that explains the move or the volume increase, which is what I'm really looking for. Say again.
It's open and it's dropping.
Link.
Yep.
Okay. No position for me on that.
And UAVS still trying to hammer away at 290. Got as high as 289. You know that wall's there.
Wiz saying my bad on Link. Someone posted old news from 3 weeks ago. There you go. That explains it. Well, that explains why I couldn't find it. I still don't know why it's moving.
UAVS still having a hard time with 290. That's a lot of orders to get through, given the just a lot of orders to get through. All right, UPXI still halted. XPON trying to rebound. SGBX sideways now. CPRI back down to the start.
Lightbridge popping. We traded this one recently here. This is actually a fairly orderly move too.
TBR.
UPXI is open, folks. Here we go. UPXI is open. Actually, it looks like it's trying to bounce here.
Yeah, I feel that gap to from the halt.
I'll tell you what, at this point now, my trailer piece, if we sink below 12, I'm out.
Okay.
Because that's still 2 points on the trailer. And you know what? If this turns around and goes buck again, there we go. And we're out. That trade is closed officially. Bang.
Well done.
Bang, bang, bang.
Now let's see if they were just trying to shake you out.
Well, that's okay because we're booked. We're booked up there.
You made a killing on that one.
Yep. That's not bad. It's in the prop account though, so I have to share that, but that's okay.
Well, UAVS couldn't get above 290. Still consolidating, so just watch for a loss of BWAP. We lose that, then this is probably going to come back into maybe 225.
Look at UPXI. Are we going to halt here?
Well, it's looking like it's about to. All right, so UAVS losing BWAP now.
Halted to the upside.
And DJT trying to break over that 38.50 level. We're coming up to the intraday high of 38.27. I think somebody was mentioning that 40 is on deck for this.
Yeah,
one.
I think that was Crow.
That's entirely possible. I see that as well. That's after 38.50. It's $40 is the next one I have. So I'm right there with you, man.
There it is. I was just going to say that this formation here is pretty bullish, like it's going to pop the top there. And literally, as I was trying to say that, it happens. No position for me on DJT, but this does look like it's moving higher.
It's trying to get through this 3850 wall.
Really quick, Tapestry, ticker TPR. This is connected to that CPRI news deal that we're doing. This formation also looks pretty good. Had a nice little dip, impulse move. Looks like we shook out some of those. Looks like we shook out some of those people here. Maybe we return up here 51 and change. Maybe we can break higher. That would put 52 on deck for a potential move. OKLO, whoever was over this. This is also another nice push here.
All right, looks like UAVS is trying to go for 290 again. If it keeps hammering, it's going to give away.
How's Tesla doing? You folks that are trading Tesla, how are we doing here today? Oh, it is flagging up here. Let's see. Okay, so what do we have here? We have what, 260, 267.50 to 270 looks to be this consolidation area.
All right, UAVS. Here goes the next test of 290.
Here you go.
Looks like Tesla's going to roll over and come back in a little bit.
NXL maybe coming up off the bottom. Smoke tuna's all over it.
Jess Green asking TWG down 65%. Any news? I'll take a look.
TWG, huh?
Yep, that's the caviar play. Remember?
Oh yeah, no, good reminder. Good shout there.
Well, I'll tell you right now, this thing was super extended. I mean, if you look at a daily chart, you can see like how this thing just had a really high RSI for the past couple of weeks. Yesterday was kind of the blow off top for it, so it's coming back down. I don't think it's there's any news. I'll take a look here. Doesn't seem like there's any news that would result in this this pull. So I think this might be more technical. It's just that it was so extended that it needed to come back in, and it really did. The RSI yesterday closed at 84, so that was very extended. I think.
I'm glad I'm missing this. Webcoin here saying that this is a fishy stock. I mean, this is how we do here. We tell the best dad jokes we can come up with. That's for sure. That is for sure.
All right. Well, I guess those candles weren't lying on the SPY. Here we are, almost back up to the 585.27. We broke through that level I had mentioned. Let's see what that price action looks like. I'm kind of curious.
Well, NISN, remember this one? This also from our happy hour discussion. This back in an 8 handle, and they repurchased 40,000 of their shares. Okay, no position here for NISN, but I'm looking back into this one now that we've pulled this far after that big move down. So no position, but I will let you know if things change there. Voodoo here, I appreciate this. The money, it looks like you were watching that money flow earlier on Tesla. 3 touches at 269.44, then it rolled over there. Okay, maybe back to VWAP. Okay. That makes a lot of sense to me, Voodoo. Glad to have you back, Voodoo.
Yeah.
Glad to have you back, dude.
Yeah, so that 582.30, that was the kind of a breakout level here. The first move pulled it in, and then the 10 minutes that followed was a breakout. But it's very extended. I would think that SPY might have to come back in, because on a 5-minute chart, it's got a very high RSI. So I think it might be trade back down a little bit before going higher. Okay, so Link may have found support around 525, and we're about to find out if that support holds as we're testing that now. SMR
UPXI is open.
UPXI, okay. And
it's going to be halted again.
1532 is the break. Here we are now. 1562 is the new high. It's not halted yet.
Nope. It's still going.
SGBX.
This thing is just, this is crazy. These halts, man. These halt stocks are just absolutely wild. Parker's Thinkorswim indicators. UPXI out 1532 from 860. That's how we do it here, folks.
So with
Hey,
your
Harris,
retirement
you're
party,
asking about a call again here today? Halted to the downside now, it looks like. Oh, nope, not halted yet.
looks like, I know we were talking about not touching this today. Just kind of just watching SGBX. It's trying to recover, but volume is garbage.
Who's still in UPXI? Anyone? Because now I'm starting to think that I want to trade it again, and that's got me nervous. I'm not gonna lie, that has absolutely got me nervous.
Exercise that discipline, sir. UAVS. This thing is still holding VWAP. I think you might be right. Who said that it was the crow? UAVS wants to go to 3. It very well could. It's holding VWAP pretty well.
Wow. So 13. So real quickly here, I know UPXI is still open. Good luck for any of you that have this still. But I want to read you. We were just talking about the NISN buyback here.
Yeah.
So from our friend Tom from Happy Hour, I'm going to read you this quote, and I want to get your reaction here. When a company announces buybacks outside of the normal earnings cycle, it isn't uncommon for those shares to be put up as collateral elsewhere. With that collateral dumped into the market, additionally, companies will sometimes buy at an inflated price from company execs, who then use the news story to bounce and unload more shares. This has happened frequently with some of the companies that I've covered in China, and this is a Chinese company.
Okay, so that sounds like they're just trying to create a liquidity event.
Exactly.
Get out.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think then that, so despite the fall here, this is either a no touch still or very, very small on a potential entry price if you're going to try a play for a move back higher. Very small. I'm talking like money that you don't miss. That's my read on this. And no position still. No position for me. I'm just trying to digest the news here.
I'd be curious to see what Andy has to say about that, because
me too.
This is I think what he was saying why he wasn't going to touch it again. Pro mentioning ARBB.
ARBB, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Fairchild just flew a drone mission yesterday. That's awesome. Free imagery for family who lost their house to fire. I think it sounds like you're helping out. Well, that's awesome. I want to fly a drone mission. UPXI, by the way, now we're actually trading. We're not just halting and going back and forth. This is actually trading. Michael, I can appreciate you, Michael. Don't do it, Ryan. I was saying I wanted to get back into this. Man, oh man. I mean, look, up nicely here on this already today. Don't really need to give gains back. Michael, I think I'm probably going to take your I'm probably going to take your advice. Stock profit. That's always a bad choice. You will lose your gains. Can't even argue with you, stock profit. I can't even argue with you. I'm good though. This has been another good day. Okay, smash up the like for our group for coming in here all week and doing work and just shouting out money-making opportunities here. You guys are absolutely awesome.
Swiley wants to know DJT sell price. We really can't tell you where to take your profits at. We can give you some levels of where there could be resistance. I was talking about all morning about 38.50 being a resistance level. The high of the day is 38.49. So I would say that that's one potential level. If we break through that and go to 40, like some of us think we are, there's another potential level. But that's going to be a decision you have to make on where you exit.
Boom.
Now, Link has been having a morning halting up, and now it's halting down. Just
now, so you're mentioning, this is a good mention here, because 13, I hate to say it, UPXI went higher. We've had a number of halts now. I think if this gets halted again, we might also have that same type of thing, right?
I'm sorry, what type of thing?
Like this all of a sudden turns into a halt down, and to be careful.
Okay.
So basically, sorry, and I apologize for leaving out some context here. We've had a party so far in UPXI today. And as I was just highlighting comments from the chat about not trading this more to give back my gains, just kind of throwing out that reminder. It's been a party so far. Don't still be at the party when the cops show up.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm trying to say. Don't be the one left there.
Gary Frost, I hope at the very least you got a trailing stop or a stop of some kind, so you're not losing anything.
That's good. 13, you a little bit nervous with that comment there? Ooh, boy.
I appreciate the praise, but remember, I'm saying 20 is a possibility. That's not a guarantee.
Yeah, and also make sure you book your gains on the way up. UPXI turning around here now. I do. Okay. Gary's good. Gary's an adult and good, and that's great to hear. Zabev, you guys are pretty damn good. You know what? We would not be what we are without our community, though, and you're a part of that. So pat yourself on the back when you say nice things like that. Okay, let's see what else. And actually, UPXI bouncing now here. This thing is all types of wild.
Mm-hmm. Just got to be very careful up here where it's starting to consolidate. Not sure if we're going to see, a push higher, or if it's just going to, everybody's going to start leaving because it made their day. I just am looking at some of these EMAs. There's that one that's up there at $20. I think I also mentioned that 16 was also a level. We got as high as 1591, so almost there. Couldn't break through that level. I think we get through 16, then 20 will be more likely. But as long as you have your stops and you're not going to get yourself hurt, trade it how you will. It's just been a great day for UPIX or UPXI.
Yep, Lightbridge, by the way, this continuing to move higher here. So Lightbridge, this is also a pretty good trade here. Jay, I saw your comment. I know it's been a wild one here today. Viking continuing again. Jay, again. I mean, this is 60 to almost 80 in 2 sessions. Like, that's insane. Insane move here on Viking.
Yeah, Smoke Tuna, that's kind of the worry here too. If it's not going to go any higher and it's just going to consolidate, everybody that was doing really well is going to just take their gains and leave. That's a concern I have too. And then also Chicago Realtor asking, CPRI knifing could not hold 22. Any predictions on how those will go? We've been talking with some other folks in the happy hour chat, thinking that they would see this or they would like to get this around, what was it, $15?
Yeah, 15 to 1750 was the buy price here. But you know what? The important part about that is that I believe that the thought there was just kind of for a bounce. And so this actually has like a real news catalyst affecting it. And as you astutely said earlier, 13, they needed this buyout and now they're not getting it. I don't think an administration change is going to change any of that. This might be trouble here. I didn't trade this one here today, but man.
Yeah, so this could be, Spirit Airlines 2.0, just to, give you an idea of where this could
Now, speaking of Spirit Airlines, what are they doing? Because remember, they had news today, too. They're actually doing a good job of holding higher here on the job cuts and the aircraft sale.
Yeah, but the whole thing with Spirit was that they needed that JetBlue merger because they are financially hurting right now. And now here they are having to sell their aircraft in order to, appease their debtors and, keep the lights on. So that's the situation with Spirit. I don't know that they're going to turn things around. So you could end up seeing CPRI do the same thing. I don't know that they're going to turn things around. And being that I think a lot of their business came out of China because that's where a lot of luxury brands are being bought. I think that's where their sales were. Seeing a lot of weakness in the Chinese economy, so that could mean that there's not as many buyers of their products. Now, if I look at the daily chart, there's still some levels we can draw on as to how far down this could go. It looks like to me, I like 1750 a lot. If you look at the what the pandemic gave us in terms of lows, there's a consolidation area between 14 and 1750, almost 18. So that 1750 that was getting mentioned, and 15 also by some of our folks in the happy hour chat. That's I think they were drawing on that consolidation. So that's a level I also like as well.
Good stuff there. NXL being called here by Tuna. This actually might be a VWAP break right here. 242 is the spot. . Okay. Leonidas, I'm going to do my best to take a stab at this here. Okay. Could you please explain again how you would describe the behavior of UPXI? Well, so I can do that right away. The behavior here is erratic. That's how I would describe it. Let me continue. The constant halting and the blow up is something I've seen before. What's the reason for it? That's exactly part of the problem. You could say that the reason for this is the news catalyst here about them reviewing the activity for the fractional shares and how it was stock manipulation. We talked about this at the open here. You could say that that was what's going on here, but honestly, the way I would describe this is the trading action, right? You have a catalyst here, you've got volume flow here, you've got relative volume flow, and you have a huge gapper here. So you got all types of trader eyeballs on this. They're talking about stock manipulation and doing all of this, and it's basically just kind of momentum trading here. Now, what we saw is we saw a humongous move. So remember, yesterday's stock was $2. Today, right at the open, it halted as it went up to 10. This candle was when I got my buy. We held the VWAP, and it looked like right out of the open, there was more buying interest in it. So I thought to myself, this was probably going to go higher. Now, when I think that to myself, I don't know that the stock's going to get halted 3 times and push up, 5 points in the matter of an hour. You're just playing odds there. This is also why out of that first halt, immediate half of the position sold immediately, because I don't care what the price is. As long as the trade is working, I'm going to pay myself some so I can stay in the stock with that erratic behavior. Generally speaking, I like to avoid stocks that are erratic like this because I end up getting hurt. Today, it ended up working out because I had such a good entry on that. I hope that helps, Leonidas, and that is a great name. DS is just, do not try to find logic in the stock market.
There isn't any. This is a gamification. We're playing video games, guys. We're gambling.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. And I'm going to lighten the mood a little bit here. I love my coworkers here at Benzinga because they're all funny. And we have a nice little thread going in our work Slack here where we tell dad jokes on Friday. I got a new one for you here. You ready for this? I got fired from my new job at the ice cream factory. I refuse to work on Sundays.
Okay.
Take that. There is your dad joke. We got crickets out there, baby. Let's go.
Not the strongest I've heard.
Not the strongest. I like that one. Sunday is spelled like an ice cream sundae, of course. Thank you, Fairchild. Now I don't feel terrible. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Comp. Thank you, Miscellaneous H. Webcoin. We've redefined.
There you go.
Let's go. Okay.
That was definitely a granddaddy joke.
Hey, look, this is what you can count on me for. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's find something else to trade here. Let's see.
Gosh, I feel left out seeing how your NBIS is running.
Oh, you didn't buy any of this?
No, because when we were talking about it yesterday, we were waiting to, for it to, settle down, and we were waiting for this. We're waiting. I'm waiting. You're not waiting.
That joke is bananas. Well, okay. So again, thought here was we've seen some of these before where we've wanted to do some due diligence and they've kind of run away. Again, I bought this very, very small in my main account, right? I bought it very, very small. So don't feel jealous. I'm up $30. That's nothing.
That's a happy meal for you and a friend.
But you know what? McDonald's, please. But you know what? What this does when you buy 50, 100, 150 shares, whatever it is, just to track something, it forces you to look at it every single day. That's the thought here. And I don't know where AI is going to go. I don't know if the money that they had from 2 billion or came from Russian assets. I don't know if they're going to be able to get that. So bought it a little bit here. If it goes to 50, okay. If it goes down, we can buy more after we do some due diligence. Did not open a very big position here, just a starter.
Yeah, we're waiting to see if some of our happy hour team will reach out to the chairman. And see if we can get some more information on it.
Multiple calls here. UAVS. Here we go. Right to the highs. Or Crow, excuse me.
Give us 3. Give us 3. Come on, break that 290. That's been a pain in our butts all morning. There we go.
There it is. 290, your high print.
All right.
Sideshow saying that this is the final charge.
I think he's asking.
Is this? Yeah, no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Maybe. I think we're still looking for 3 in this.
I wouldn't be shocked here. Jamie Dimon cashing Intel. You know what? We haven't looked at Intel in a few days here. I hope this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome.
Also, I would say do raise stops on UAVS if you're in it, or put a trailing on, just we don't get a repeat of what happened at 9:55 this morning.
Intel here. So Jamie, Jay Diamond, we talked a lot about Intel when the news has come out pretty much anytime. We've talked about the stock for a number of years. Let me start that over here. We've had really good trades in the happy hour group when this thing printed 25 last time, and then we sold it at 50. That was a nice little double in the matter of about a year, maybe just over a year. So I'm thrilled to see that you bought this in the teens. Our group was waiting for a little bit lower. I think 15 was the price. We never really got there. Nice job in terms of your strategy here. Nice job in paying yourself on the way up. Got several points here off those lows. Booking gains on the way up. That should allow you to hold this longer.
Yeah,
good stuff there.
I'm a long-term holder of Intel now as well. I bought some earlier this year. This is it's just trading within a falling wedge. So at some point, this is going to be a really good play. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm convicted on Intel for the long term.
UAVS still flirting with that 3. KXIN halted here. This is on a volume pop. We've traded this one before, no position.
Take care, Line Atlas.
Take care of yourself, Lion.
Mark Kaufman asking about ORKT.
Never heard of it. Let's bring it up.
Well done,
Orange
Crow.
Cloud Technology. Is this like a Trump thing or what? I mean, I don't know. At this point, I'm just throwing daggers out here. Little bit of short interest. Don't see any cash stuff.
Recent issue as of August or July. I'm sorry.
Okay. So
There's
probably
3 in UAVS.
splits then. Yes, I don't know what this is.
There's 3 in UAVS. I think that might be the time to consider taking some profit here. Don't know how much more we'll get. That was a great move in UAVS.
IT consultancy services for distribution of related products and services. The company also offers ERPs predominantly in Singapore. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about this one. What was the question? Huge dip from $5. Yeah, so what happened on that news?
Just kind of taking a look at that as well.
Enter a partnership. So one of the things that we've talked about is that some of these Singapore and Malaysian companies can kind of be a little bit shady. I don't want to cast that on this without knowing, but that's really the only thing I can think of off the top of my head here, Mark. Because we've looked at some of these other stocks from Malaysia or Singapore that are similar like this that have huge fall-offs. I'd be careful about playing this one for a bounce. Let me know if you have something else on it. Actually, the formation here today is not terrible now that I look at that.
Let's see. What's the news from the 24th? So that's weird. They had Catalyst news on yesterday, and it went lower. That must be something on. That must have been something on Wednesday that pulled it down. But after hours. But
Voodoo, take care of yourself. It's great to see you. We'll see you on the happy hour whenever you're ready, boss.
Take care, Voodoo.
45 Prince. Who called Palantir 45 earlier? One up.
Oh, and look at that. UAVS. It went as high as 306, and now it is pulling. $3. That was the time to ring the register. Hopefully everybody that was trading this had done well. Don't know how much more we're going to get out of this today, but that was a great trade, everybody.
Okay, I got to see what's going on with these Palantir. We're up again here. Let's go. Palantir.
Awesome sideshow. Lack of potential revenue in Orange Cloud, is what Mark Kaufman was saying. So I could see that. Let's take a look at the financials. I haven't even looked at. Oh, I don't even have an income statement read for them, and they don't have a whole lot of cash either. I got you. They have earnings in 11 days on the day of the election. Yeah, UBS Poland, SGBX. This has been something that we've been told to stay away from. So been sideways all morning, as you can see why. UPXI getting some support from VWAP at the moment. Not sure if we're going to hold here or not.
Okay. Still sitting on the offer for those butterflies on Palantir. UPXI is the one that you were just mentioning here. That's coming back in. I would say, guys, for all of you that are trading at loss of VWAP, does probably test the lower range.
Yeah.
Jay, it's the reason this is a fair comment. This is totally a fair comment. There are things that are moving much bigger than Palantir, but the reason that you're seeing that is because we have been talking about this and its long thesis as a group. It's not just a couple of people. It's a lot of people in this, as well as an Anne Marie trade from the 20 handle. From a 20 handle, it was like $28 when we first started talking about Palantir going north. Then we had a whole bunch of news catalysts like being added to the S&P and all of that stuff. So you're almost at a double. And there is a lot of people playing it. That's why, but a fair post.
I'm just going to go ahead and put 45 as a horizontal line here, just so I have that.
Jay Rice, Ryan, you still own EAF? Nope, sold it too. Booked gains on that. And actually, I owe you a thank you for that one because that was, I think, 140 or 150 to 2. Maybe it does go higher here. What do you think, Jay? I'd like to know what you think. If this comes back in, maybe I'll re-add it. But I took gains on this position. You made me money.
Bitcoin seems to have been having a pretty good day this morning.
I think 70K might be a test here coming up.
Let's see here. 69,000's next. And interestingly enough,
I have 69,400 on the futures right now.
I'm looking at the current price.
Okay, so we're looking at a different note. I got you.
Now, one thing to keep in mind here, yesterday we hit a high of 68,810. We're almost there. I think that's going to be the spot that we break out of to take us to up and maybe even over 69,000.
Jay Michael, yes, I'm sitting on the offer for the butterflies. So I'm not selling the individual legs. Anne Marie calls that triaging. I'm literally just trying to sell the butterflies. I think we're up, what, 100% at this point? You have to go back and look real quick.
What are you seeing out there that's looking pretty good? I see
Smart Jay. I'll tell you what, I'll look to add some more of this for a long haul if it comes back in. But I just took gains on it because I wasn't my own pick, it was someone else's.
Was it a Tim Melvin pick?
No, it was Jay's. Tim Melvin, you know what though? I believe Tim Melvin came on and talked about that.
Yeah.
Also, just FYI, we're going to be having a webinar with Tim Melvin coming up. Tim Melvin, for heaven's sakes, Ryan. Tim Melvin, a webinar, Melvin, get it? Tim Melvin and I are going to be on a webinar Tuesday, October 29th. It's going to be in the evening, and we're going to kind of review some of the different stock picks that he's made, why he made them, and how Benzinga Pro can help you make them going forward. So I'll give you more details as that gets closer. I'll post a link here for all that stuff. As well, but just FYI, that's coming. I know you folks can't wait to get Melvin. We're going to start folding him in some more here.
I wrote that down. Welvin, that's a good one.
Okay.
On the inside. That was a good one.
I wrote that down.
I had to see how it's spelled. Just write it down. Look at it. That is a funny word. Anyway, looks like things are really starting to settle down. What are we looking at here for some movement? Because I'm seeing a lot of volume leave these names we've been trading this morning.
Yeah, the movement here kind of seems like it's slowing down. Even UPXI, which was the biggest mover here of the day, that seems to have slowed down. A lot of these other ones look to kind of be coming back. The only thing that, well, actually, this has slowed down too. I was going to say the market hasn't really slowed down, but you know what? Yeah, it's actually starting to trade sideways now after that big rip out of the open here. Tom asking, are you having a hard time getting out of those Palantir butterflies? Okay, I think I know what you're asking here. I would not say I'm having a hard time because I'm sitting at an offer price that the butterflies aren't trading at right now. So, I mean, I'm asking for a price that no one's willing to pay yet. So I don't really think that's having a hard time. I'm just looking for more, I could hit the bid at these right now, but I'm going to be patient and wait for a sale there. When it comes to some of these butterflies, you'll often get that. It's one of the reasons why Anne-Marie says put your orders good till cancel, both on the entry and exit. That's what I'm doing here. I could get out to right now if I wanted to. Right now, I think for like a 90% gain. I'm actually waiting for a little bit more than that, though.
Be careful with DJT. This is starting to get hammered, and it's testing
Okay.
VWAP right now. MACD looks like it wants to roll over. We could see a test of 36.45 coming soon.
And it just snapped right through the VWAP right as I brought that up. And lower we go. Great call, 13. Good Lord. That was good.
All right. What's next here? That means that we could see a pull in fund. So there's, something to if you're trading that, just keep in mind that could be coming next.
Yeah. Is that not moving yet?
I haven't looked at it yet.
No, this they're moving together again.
Looks like UAVS is trying to get back over 3, getting some volume. Volume's not too great, but it's trying to push back up there.
No, I'll tell you what, that 285 area was juicy for that. We'll see if it gets above 3 here.
Smita Patel asking if anyone's watching CPRI. Is this finally turning around? Not really.
Well, let's see what it does at VWAP here. VWAP 2230, current price 2212.
It's still trading within the after hours consolidation and pre-market consolidation. So for the down, it would have to break down of 2150 or break out of, let's just say 23. We did have a pop over 23 at the open, but it came right back in. We only had a print up there. We didn't have a close above it. So those would be my levels for CPRI to determine a direction. 23 to the upside, 2150 to the downside. Here we go with UAVS.
Who is blowing me up here?
Oh gosh, it's taking everything I have not to make a joke.
Okay, someone else is handling this.
IBRX, this one's looking ugly as well. That one looks like it's going down to $5. There could be support there. If not, probably going to lose the 65 EMA.
Okay, sorry. Which stock were you just looking at?
I was just looking at.
Real quick here, Clancy. So I'm all over the place. 13. It's my fault, not you. Clancy here. Look at KXIN, just split and super volatile, and the FTCI has just cleared its resistance and looking like it's about to leg up. So we often take a look at some of those reverse splitters. This is actually a really good call. Today it did a 1 for 60. So here's the thing. Clancy, I don't really think this is necessarily a buy here unless you're going to kind of bet on this. But this is absolutely worth worth adding to your watch list here, because this is one of those. Sometimes 13, weren't you noticing sometimes we get a delay, a day or two delay, where the after the reverse split, where the stock starts to take off?
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of times after it does the reverse split, or at least this year, it will take about a week or more for it to really make that big move that we've been seeing with these low float names that have reverse split. Don't exactly know how long this is going to take, but we are trading right kind of above a consolidation area. Let me just fix this chart real quick. The bottoms, it looks like it was 382. And I don't know that we're going to necessarily go back there, but we could if we continue to consolidate here, because that would be a bit of a bear flag. I think, Ryan, you're right. We just kind of need to wait and see what this does.
Yeah. This is a good mention, though, because at least we can be as prepared as possible. If we wake up and we see this thing gapping up $3, we know what's going on.
Yeah.
So good mention there, Clancy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, but it looks like 875 could be the first big mover spot.
NXL getting mentioned by Tuna. He's been all over that here today, and that is through the VWAP and pushing away. Tuna did it again. Tuna's just out here getting it done. Arb going, says Crow.
He is smoking.
That's the penny stock there. Lightbridge continuing to go. My goodness.
Let's see where we can get some levels for Light Bridge here.
VKTX 80 prints and double testing that intraday area. My good Lord. What's going on, Mike? Hopefully you're doing well, man.
Hey, Mike. Break of 750 could take this up to 850 on LTBR.
Let me go back to Lightbridge here. LTBR.
UPXI and looking ugly.
Starting to see DJT puts, which I don't know that I've seen these last few days. This came into its VWAP, tried to bounce. This actually looks like this might go through that VWAP. I haven't seen a lot of. Oh, no, never mind. There were DJT calls earlier. Okay, this is just getting traded. Maybe there's nothing I can take away from that. Sorry, 13.
No worries. It looks like DJT is going to come back into the 3650 area. MACD is rolling over. If it loses VWAP, I think that's what's going to happen. All right.
NXL continuing off that tuna mention. God, what a good tuna. You called it right when it was at VWAP. You then waited for it to hold VWAP on the back test and called it again, and it pushed on volume. It's just like, how much better do you want to get? So good.
I wonder what the thought here with NXL. If we're going to try to push 260, is that going to take us up to 285?
I mean, that's going to be your pre-market high. Maybe 13. Honorable mention here to 268 where it stopped before.
RKDA for a swing.
Okay, Tom V. I'm taking time out here to address this before Zunaid comes on and takes us to option Sandy. Yeah, I am hoping so. Look, I am hoping so. I'll say it this way: if Jaden Daniels plays, this looks like a measuring stick game for the Bears. Extremely important. If he doesn't play, it's an expected win. The key to the game is going to be Washington's running offense. That is the weakest spot of the Bears defense, which is the second best defense in the league. If the Washington can run the football, it would be the Bears have a chance at losing that game. We'll see how it goes. But I cannot wait for this game, and I am looking forward to another win, and I am looking forward to coming back on here and celebrating a victory Monday with you folks. We'll see if we get that.
Take care, Richard.
Take care of yourself, Judge. Have a great weekend. Link set up? Really? Link, I see what Tune is looking for. He's looking for a curl here. Watch the volume to confirm that. We get that volume to expand. Boom. Maybe we go here. Full point. Oh, man.
Upper shadows don't look. Oh, well. Yeah, I was going to say that the wicks aren't looking too great. Maybe down here at 430 we could get a bounce, but if not, then I would say $4. And then what's the thought here if we do get a bounce that we get back up to VWAP at like 550?
554 would be my target. This is testing the low here though right now. Careful. Tesla, look at your Tesla short comp. Are you shorting Tesla again off those highs? Look at this. We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to give register rings. It's just too much today.
It was starting to roll over. Yeah.
And he was on it. Yeah. This is not his first call at that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Waifu. I've traded that one before. That's been a low floater. Wafu Education Group. What is the float on this now? 1.24 million. That sounds about right.
262 area was the highs from yesterday in Tesla. That might be a support area.
Oh, nope. Never mind. UPXI. This might be done. That was fun, though, this morning. Sorry it didn't go to 20. Hopefully you guys are okay. Let's go back to Tesla here.
All right, Bitcoin had its pull after going up to 68,763, looking to turn around and take that out over, I don't know, the next half hour or so. DJT trying to turn around as well, getting support from VWAP. It's going to have a hard time getting through this consolidation I put in earlier this morning.
J Michael, I think I'm done. Hit my daily goal. Palantir, Mariscalps. Congrats, man. Enjoy your weekend. Get it started early.
Take care, J. Michael.
Sun came out here in Chicago. Said that it was going to rain all day today, but the sun came out. Be able to get some exercise in here. High of 61. We got hoodie weather again. 13. I'm gonna throw on a Hawks hoodie after this.
Here, keep an eye on XNL. I think this is trying to push through that 260. Just keep an eye on it.
I think you might be right there. 260 up on the offer right here. Not a terrible amount of size. 265, a little bit of size above it. KWE, this was a spike and that came all the way back. XPON, we were looking at that earlier. Didn't really do anything. ARBB is the penny stock. Crow is banking. Crow.
And how's Link doing?
That every time you guys say Link, I think of Zelda. And I think of the treasure chest sound that Amanda wanted me to put on that I never put on. That probably explains why she's not here anymore.
She's been busy. She said that.
No, I'm joking. Good morning. Stay focused. Hope you guys are well. Dude,
hey.
We are. We traded. Stay focused. You want to, we traded this junky UPXI name today, this Halt Fest here. Boom, boom. We had the entire room here banking. We had a really good morning. And by the way, stay focused. Also, that new AI play that we talked about yesterday on the call, MBIS took a little bit of this. This has done nothing but staircase up. So in very, very small while we do our due diligence, but it's been a good morning here so far to answer your question. Hope you are well, boss.
Yeah, I've mostly been just trading the UABS, but I think that's done now. Look at this thing start to sell off.
UABS?
Yeah, I think that 306, like I was mentioning earlier, that was it. We did get a little pop up to 302, but not enough. I think we're done here for the moment.
I agree. VWAP snap here. Downside move coming. Tesla, a lot of Tesla puts getting bought. A lot of Tesla puts getting bought as that rolls over here. Is NVIDIA rolling over? We haven't looked at that recently. That's doing a really good day. Maybe it is rolling a little, but it's doing a good job holding its gains there.
What are the options activity like for the Qs?
I have ETFs turned off on this one. Let me go to a different calendar here real quick. Unusual option activity. Here we go on the Qs. Q. Just 3 Qs, Ryan. What? There we go. Here we go. Let's see if we're looking for the biggest ones here today. Oh my God. This was a closing order though. Yeah, this was the 450 QQQ strike price here. So let's actually take a look at that real fast. Oh yeah, this was a closing order. This one was a closing order, 9.2 million in trade value. LOL. Looks like maybe this was a Q put. Someone bought this in size today. They're not having a good day, I don't think. 480 put.
Oh, the day is young too.
Day is young. And this actually doesn't expire until November 15th.
Swiley, as far as DJT goes, it does look like it's trying to push back up through this consolidation it was having in the morning, but I don't want to say it is because I'm not sure yet. I think we need to see some more volume expansion to get back up into the 38 handle first.
Stay focused. I know I'm kind of cheating here, but yes, your question, will the SPY hold the VWAP? Yes, it did. so far, that's cheating though. I mean, I'll be honest, given what we saw here today, it does seem to kind of be bullish. So I would say yes, I think it probably does hold this. I wouldn't be shocked if we had multiple VWAP tests here. What's the catalyst that's going to bring us down? Would be my question. Oh,
there could be several. I mean, we have a bunch of stuff next week. 5 of the Max 7s report. We have GDP, PCE. I don't think we get our jobs numbers next week because the 1st is on Friday. So I think that's going to be on the 8th of November. But before that, we're going to have the election. So lot of things in the way between here and the jobs report that could, be the catalyst to move the market in the opposite direction.
Okay.
That's just what I'm looking at. I don't. Other than that, I don't have no idea what pulls the market down. We, thought it would be war, but that gets normalized pretty easily, as we saw with the Russia-Ukraine war. UPXI pushing back up towards VWAP now, getting some volume expansion.
You're kidding. Let's see if this moves above VWAP.
Went long VKTX and CELH. What a pair. They've been hot.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, that VKTX might have made up for that completely. What did CELH do recently? Did that turn around too? Not really.
Looks like it's trying to find a bottom.
Yeah.
It has been bottoming. That one day with that huge amount of volume, that green candle, that could be the day that things started to turn around for this. DJT still trying to capture 38 again. This is the concern I had. If we weren't going to get enough volume, we weren't going to be able to get back up to those levels we were at earlier this morning. XPLN kind of trading sideways. UAVS, this thing is totally finished for now. Don't know what the support is going to be later today. MNPR, this one is curling and got support from the 21 handle, is trying to turn back up. This looks like it, at the very least, might try to come back up to VUF, which I have at 23.74.
NXL just had a spike and a pull there, tuna. So here, real quick, we talk about trading, setups and trading, and we get asked all the time about, should I sell this? What price should I sell this at? Here's one thing I want you to this is a really good example here of NXL. Instead of me giving you a price to tell you what to trade or to sell at, what I would say is, if you're doing any of these short-term trades, sell into the strength that you see in front of you. You don't have to wait for me, 13, or anyone else to tell you what the price is. If you know that the stock has strength and you're up, don't be afraid to sell into it. Look what just happened here with NXL. Smoke Tuna alerted us the first time right here. We talked about this one as a pre-market stock. It fell out of the open. It didn't give us a setup. Okay. Smoke Tuna alerted us to it when it came back to the VWAP. We punched through the VWAP, did some back and forth trading, and then he mentioned it again when the volume expanded, when it started to move away from the VWAP. Then we consolidated here and we get this volume pop. This right here is your exit trigger. The price doesn't matter. If you want a price, 269, nice. But if it doesn't really matter what the price is, it's this action that you're trying to sell into. And look why. You wait 5 minutes, 3 minutes, not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes. We're right back at that VWAP that we were just at. Do not be afraid to sell into the strength. If you have FOMO, you can always re-add if it comes back. And look what this stock just did.
And look what MNPR just did after I stopped talking and you started. It did the exact thing that I was talking about it doing. Went to VWAP.
And came back.
Yeah.
So when you see these, this is why I say watch the volume. You guys are probably like tired of me saying that, because it's like, why does this idiot keep talking about
watch the volume?
Yeah, when you get it, you can sell into it. That's your trigger. That's your trigger, because there's going to be enough liquidity for you to be able to get your position booked, probably, unless you're like some big baller here and you're dealing with 100,000 share positions. You're going to be able to sell into this strength. This is what we want.
UPXI trying to reclaim VWAP. Doing that thing again.
Smita's asking if CPRI will do better in the holiday season. Honestly, I don't even know. Like, I would imagine luxury brands are going to do better in the holiday season, but I don't know what that's going to mean for the stock price here. This thing needed to get taken over, and it got, that deal got blowed up. I mean,
blowed up. Yeah, I'm not sure either. My thought is you might see an increase in sales, but I don't think it's going to be very, it's going to be robust. I think we're still facing a lot of weakness in consumer buying. Of course, I understand the thought that it could change during a holiday, but I don't know that they're going to see very robust sales. And if they don't, that's just going to be even worse for the company that's already having a hard time with the blocking of this merger. Look no further than EQIX. That's another data center REIT play similar to DLR, but that one had a short report.
Jay Rice, this might surprise you, but this is an excellent comment. I can't trade those little guys. Why can't I trade those? Because I'd be staring at a 1-minute chart all day and it keeps me from other stuff. Jay, this is 100% accurate. And in fact, you folks get to see this on a regular basis. How many times am I locked in on a stock and someone from the chat or 13 calls a different stock and I move away from it, or I can't move away from it because I'm too locked into the stock I'm in? Jay, this is a trade-off for sure. And also, when I tell you guys, hey, I would prefer to swing trade than day trade, this is why, because I don't have to stare at the chart all day and I can go do other things like golf, by the way. So, Jay, totally with you. We try to hit all of those audiences. It's also why we can't do this show all day, every day, because we'd just be exhausted at the end of the day if we were doing that. Need some breaks. Get up, touch some grass.
Yeah, Wes, I see. I was just looking at XPON as well. It looks like it's going to have to, work its way through the consolidation from pre-market between 460 and 485. It looks like, and that will take us up to VWAP.
Crow, 8 screens solve that problem. No, actually, it multiplies the problem by 8 is what it does.
Are you a spider? Do you have 8 eyes? I'm just kidding. DJT about to be 38. Yeah, I saw that too. That was getting pretty close. So we get back into that handle, then it looks like we're going to try and break through that 38.50 and try to take 40. That's what I'd be watching for. Take care, Carmen. Great trading with you today.
Yeah, Carmen, take care of yourself. Have a great weekend, Carmen. We really appreciate all your support too.
And there is a wall of sell orders at 38 on DJT, by the way. So, temper expectations. We might get that breakout if we get a big enough number of orders come through and take all this out, take us back up to 38.50, maybe even higher. Until that happens, that's the concern I have, is just getting through 38.
And real quick here, stock profit. If you play things right, you don't have to stare and trade all day. You can hit your target and your day is done. This is also why we encourage. I don't know if there's any other reason why I would encourage a viewer to go do something other than watch the stream. If you have a good day and you're showing discipline by walking away, I care way more about more money in your pocket than I do for your viewer count here in the show. We'll get you another day. Don't worry about that. Always, 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 your P&L is the most important thing.
Yeah. No givesies, backsies, folks.
Yep. That's right.
All right. So the smooth tone boys. I'm all congested. That's why. CPRI. Just kind of taking one more look at it because
I'll do it.
About it. I'm just looking at it. Still not. It has never been able this morning really to hold above VWAP. If you want to try and trade this, I'm not suggesting you do, but if you feel compelled to, it's going to have to get over VWAP for me to even, consider this.
Real quick here, Jay, also regarding VKTX, I'm surprised it's run this much before the data. Probably takes away some of the move if the data is good. So I've got 2 questions for you, Jay, as a follow-up for that. Number 1, are you booking any gains and waiting for that just in case? And then number 2, do you, like Dennis, also think that this is a pretty good takeover target and as a result kind of just hang on to that for the long term? Curious to how you break that calculus down.
Take care, Replay Game Lab. Have a good weekend.
Take care. You folks killed it this week.
Oh, yeah.
Killed it this week. Not even just today, like the entire week. It was just.
Uh-oh. Lauren mentioning GME. What's happening?
Is it doing something? Is it?
It's got a out of nowhere pop. Let's see if there's any news. Not seeing any yet. What is this move? I mean, it's not a substantial move. It's like it was, I think maybe about $1. Almost.
But it is on volume. It is on volume. Okay. Folks, it is 11 o'clock. We are going to be waiting for Zunaid here. Again, no Anne-Marie today, so we're going to go right to option Sandy here as soon as Zunaid is ready. We will keep going with you until that's the case. What happened to my chart? Okay, we're fine. We're good. Everything's good.
Yep, getting a mention of Link. That's moving up towards VWAP. VWAP I have at 539. We break that out. I'd be looking for the intraday high that we made at 734.
Also getting the volume expansion that you want. And there is Zunaid. We're getting a teammate expansion as well. What's up, Zunaid? And Zunaid is muted.
You know, you had such a great setup. I can't believe I messed that up. My apologies.
You didn't do anything wrong. The mute monster strikes again.
They do. They do.
All week.
You know, I was just jamming out till Howard Levine said to make sure you guys couldn't hear me. You know, that's all it was.
I'm thankfully you made sure we couldn't hear you. That's good.
And there goes Link to VWAP. Anyway,
that's 13.
Well, I hope you
rest up, man. Have a good
I
one.
hope you feel better, man. Appreciate you still hopping on. Ryan,
hey, no problem. Take care, everybody.
Enjoy the rest of your workday, buddy.
Will do. Go Hawks.
See ya. Oh, Blackhawks. Okay, I was like, wait, what?
Yes, definitely not the Atlanta Hawks. Go Chicago Blackhawks. Peace.
Oh, yeah, my bets in the NBA aren't doing so well. All right, y'all. So here's going to be the breakdown for today in terms of what we've got remaining on the show. We're going to have options with Sandy here in just a minute. And then after that at 11:30, you'll be rocking with me in terms of futures. And we'll have my man Jesse come on and talk some trades as well. So you've got options coming up for the next half hour. And then we'll talk some futures as well. Sandra, give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready. All righty. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing? I'm a little late this morning.
No, that's quite all right. That's no worries at all. It's funny because for you being late is just not being early. You know what I mean? So like you still logged in on time. I was texting Ryan. I was like, she's usually early. I don't know what's happening. Should I freak out? I don't know. But how's it going for you? How's your week been in terms of trading and stuff?
You know what? It's been a real difficult week. I've been telling everybody it feels like a washing machine. You know, you're just tumbling around basically. And going absolutely nowhere. But today we're going somewhere. So looks like we're trending positive today and looks good. I was going to look at Tesla today. We have a lot of option flow in Tesla. So was thinking about maybe doing a debit spread in there.
All right. Well, appreciate your insights. Appreciate your transparency as well. This is Options Trading Made Simple with Sandy.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fit-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Well, today is Friday. And looking forward to the weekend. I don't know about you. I actually think it's been a little difficult week. You know, we've been kind of tumbling around, going absolutely nowhere. And we're going somewhere today. So this is actually great to see. Finally, we got some move. You know, I think Tesla's earnings really helped a lot as well. And I want to go through some of the charts and then go over one of the trades that we had. I think that was about 2 weeks ago when we were together. So it's been a little bit of some time. Let me get back to my screen here. So looking at the SPX, you know, the SPX right now is, we have a gap. You could see the shaded area on my Thinkorswim chart. We have a gap. You can easily see we've made no attempt whatsoever to fill that gap. We're above the 20 right here, looking very strong. Our momentum's a little weak, but you can see that even though it's weak, it's kind of staying in that 100 range. This is very similar to the CCI, so you can take a look at that. If you have a momentum indicator on your chart, that's great. If you don't, you might want to put it on. And the reason is because momentum actually drives price. So when we look at price action, we're really looking for momentum to break above basically that zero line. And when it doesn't, if it doesn't break above that zero line, right, then you just don't have enough strong momentum to take you somewhere. So typically speaking, people are usually buying calls and puts. And with that type of trade vehicle, you need some momentum to get you to the finish line. So think about that the next time you're thinking about, hey, what kind of trade vehicles should I get in? You know, is this the environment that's trending where you're going to want to get into a straight call or a put? If it is, then awesome. But just make sure you got some momentum behind you. I kind of use the analogy of surfing. I don't know if anybody out there are surfers, but you wake up in the morning really early, dark 30. You're pouring yourself some coffee. You're listening to the surf report, and then you finally get yourself in all your gear, right? Which is very synonymous to all the homework that we do in trading. And then you get your wetsuit on, you got to paddle all the way out there. You're using all your might. You get out there, it's freezing water. And then what do? You just sit on your board and you wait. And that's kind of what we've been doing. We've been kind of consolidating for a while now. We're breaking trend, getting back into our range, breaking trend, getting back into our range. And so finally now we've actually broke up. We broke up, meaning that we're trending bullish and we're staying bullish for right now. Could that change? Absolutely. But I think, what I was using for the trade vehicle aspect was, are you going to take a long board or a short board? Do you want to go fast? Is this a market where it's going to go sideways for a long period of time and then it's going to get to your target? If you're using some sort of trade vehicle like a debit spread or a credit spread, these are probably a little bit better for you to use versus like a straight call or a straight put when we have a lot of sideways action. So think about that. If you're going directional, you need that momentum. You want to be looking at a momentum indicator on your chart. Why? Because momentum drives price. Now, granted, I'm on a 5-minute chart, so this is typically like day trading, right? So we're just looking for right now, what's that momentum look like? Where are we going? What are we going to be doing? So the last time that we talked was 2 weeks ago. We actually were in a trade on Wells Fargo. And the reason why we took that trade was because, well, that was interesting. What just happened to my chart here? That was because we had a lot of option flow. Let me get out of here really quick. Let's see if I can get my chart set up. There we go. We had a lot of option flow into unusual whale activity. And so when I saw that Wells Fargo, let's see, this was 2 weeks ago, we were right here that morning and we had popped above. It had gotten a good earnings. That's right. It had gotten a good earnings report. And I said, you know what, this could carry us through for another week or two. And that's exactly what happened to Wells Fargo. We got over, I think it was like 120% on the debit spread, was able to keep that debit spread just going. And that ended up being good. I think we also took, I want to say it was Tesla. I'm sorry, but it was a couple weeks ago. I had forgotten what we took. And that ended up being a dud. So we ended up just cutting that one. But Wells Fargo was a winner. And because we use the risk profile, right? So you're risking approximately 1 to 3% of your portfolio value in a certain ticker. Now, this is kind of like industry standard, right? You could look this up and recognize this. This isn't financial advice. But if you're looking at your account and you're saying, okay, I'm risking 1 to 3% of my portfolio, and let's just say you say 3%. And when you buy a Tesla debit spreads, as an example, they may be more expensive than, let's say, United Airlines. And so maybe for Tesla, you're only buying, 5 debit spreads, as an example. But for United Airlines, because it's a cheaper option, you can actually buy, let's say, 15, basing that same equation on your portfolio. And what ends up happening is if Tesla ends up being a loser, but United Airlines, as an example, ends up being a winner, you end up making back what you lost on Tesla plus. And that's really what you want to try to do. Now, what happens if you lose on both of them? Hey, look, you're only using 1 to 3% of your portfolio value. So even if you lost on both of your positions, it's not going to take you out of the game. So just think about that as you start moving forward, because I recognize that a lot of people do things in groups. They'll say 2 contracts here, 2 contracts here, 2 contracts here, 2 contracts here, or it might be shares. So think about that the next time you do it. And I suggest that you do this on a simulation platform. Just start simulating. You don't have to change what you're doing right now. Do what you do. But think about this idea. Put it on a simulation platform as you're buying your regular positions and say, you know what, I'm going to try that. And then you're going to utilize that theory going forward until you can say, you know what, this thesis makes sense to me. I actually like this way of doing it. I could see the progress that I'm making in my account better than the way that I was doing it before. Then you can make the change once you gain confidence in that new perspective. Okay. Because I know that, everybody's got a perspective, right? It's very subjective. So as we look at Wells Fargo, we did have a nice pump, great play here. Tesla's been chopping around. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla's been chopping around for quite a while, got its earnings. And this is kind of where we were at. We kind of made a high. We were going lower. And then boom, right? Look at how low Tesla was actually trading before its earnings. And now we have it to where it's actually coming up here to do a double top. Now we're at resistance here on a daily chart, right? It's going to be one to two things that's going to happen. We're already getting close to the 200 level in momentum. Could this continue? Oftentimes when Tesla has a big move, it does continue. But I have to tell you that we are at resistance. And it looks like we've been here before, haven't we? We've been here before. Is this the time where it's going to break out? We'll soon find out. I actually think that it's got enough momentum to do that. And actually possibly drift, right? Possibly drift because we're at resistance. This is going to actually act as a fake out zone. So we could be at this resistance level for quite a while as it builds its momentum to get up and over that. So with that in mind, I think a debit spread would be perfect for a play like this. So we'll check back later. Let's take a look at the indices right now and see what we got going. So we took a quick look at SPY. SPY actually finally doing something. is my thought process here. So finally SPY is doing something, and you can see that yesterday, boy, just chopped around. What was this? This was Thursday. This was Wednesday. And so finally, where are we back? We actually filled that gap from a couple days ago. And is that going to act as a resistance? As I'm looking at that, it's acting as resistance right now as we speak. But what I'd like to see is, you see how momentum has dropped down? It's dropping down and it's sloping. And to me, this is like a consolidation area where it's just going to create its momentum again, kind of like a wave. So I use those analogies quite a bit. So as the wave just continues down, you can see that if it continues down but stays above that 100 level, it can get its energy to go to the next level. That's what I'm looking for here, as the internals look strong right now on a 15-minute. And as I look at an hourly chart, we're coming to a previous couple day before double top. Did we actually break that top? Really need to break above this 585 level. I'd say the 585 level is really the level that we need to break to get up to our last pivot high on an hourly chart, which is that 586. We can clear 586, then we're making a new high. That's just the way it goes. But will we be able to do it? On a weekly level, this was actually point of control, this 582 area. Now that we're above it, we could see higher prices, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be smooth sailing. As I look at a 4-hour chart, I can see that there's this trend line coming up here that we've had for many, many days. And it looks like we popped below and we're right there. Unfortunately, that is an identifiable fake out zone, which means that it could just kind of stay here for several days before it starts to do something. We've already been there before. We know what that looks like. So don't get overzealous thinking, oh, we broke out today. We finally got some momentum in the market. The market's changed. Not technically, but I do like on a 4-hour, we just broke above the zero line on momentum. So we could get some force. And I'm looking really, I really want some force above that 100 line. So we'll have to see how the rest of the day goes. But SPY looking great today, up $3.99 so far. Let's take a look at the QQQs. QQQs getting a pump as well today. And really looking, let's see, we're right there at resistance as well. This is a consolidation zone, this yellow band that it's been in for several probably almost 2 weeks, really kind of just consolidating in this area. So what happens during consolidation? Well, you either get accumulation or distribution. We either break out or we break down. So right now we're looking at 499, let's just say. It looks like it wants to break out, actually. I mean, it's right there. It's kind of like making a decision right there. I really like this area. Let's see. Let's make it 499. Boy, it's right there. I would have to say that it's on its way, and I like momentum here. It's on its way to continue. I don't know. This was the weekly high, expected move, weekly high. And you can see that we almost made the weekly low, but the weekly high here is at 504. Could this keep on going? I think the Qs have moved quite a bit, but it looks like we could see some continuation next week. And that's what I'm looking for. Looks like we actually broke above its last pivot high on 1 hour, and it looks like it could get to 504. But probably this area again, whenever you see on any chart that the candle's actually laying on top of a support or resistance zone, it's a fake out area. If you can think about it like that, it will help you not make your decision so quick. So just think about that for a little bit, and it'll help you think about what kind of trade vehicle should I get into? Should I get into something where we might chop around in this area for a little bit? So think about that while you're thinking about, it's sitting on top of our last pivot high. You could see this 1 hourly chart still had a wick that's down below it. I'd really like to see an independent candle above this area or below this area to give us our direction going further. So that's what you want in a fake out zone, is a confirmation candle. It could help you remove about 60% of your fake outs. If you're one of those people that really like to, kind of front run, right? Front run things, then you might take a look at this and say, hey, this looks great. We broke out of our pre-market high on the hourly. We came back to retest it, and now we're staying above it. And as long as you do, you're going right up to the 504 area. Maybe not today. We're already up $7. My gosh, looks great. What is the other ETFs doing, like DIA? Do we have sector rotation happening right now? So we have DIA not really doing anything here on an hourly chart. If I look at it daily, you can see that we hit, last week we actually broke below its expected move of its weekly low, and we're still there. Like, we haven't really done anything here. It needs to stay above 423.81. Let's make it 424. Needs to stay above 424 to possibly make a move next week to go higher. So right now it kind of hit a low, did a little bit of a bounce, but consolidating in this area until it figures out what it wants to do. It did do a nice, by the way, on a daily, it did a nice test of the 20 here. So we could get some momentum. You can see how this is a little shallow. It hasn't broken through that 100 level. I like to look at that and say, oh, is that a true bottom, right? Is that a true bottom? And now we're heading up. We'll have to see. But I am liking that momentum is going up on a daily. On a 15, not so good. Looks like we did that gap fill, did a topping pattern, came right down on a 15. On a 1 hour, this looks like it looks like we bottomed out here. Definitely bearish, right? We flagged, and now we're coming up to test the 20. 20 is acting like resistance. I don't know if it has enough juice to go. That big engulfing red candle, I don't think so. So DIA not looking very good there. And then we have IWM. Let's take a look at that really quick. So IWM, was doing good until this last hour. Let's take a look at the 15 topping pattern coming back down. We do have this gap below. If you like gap fills, if we break below this, let's call it 220.37, you can automate that. Make it 220. We break below 220 and we're going to go down to 219.70 here to at least fill the gap. And then that should act as support. If it doesn't, we're going to go down and visit our previous pivot low on a 15-minute chart. We got some selling right now in the market. This is the NYSE, the entire NYSE. So you just kind of get a feel of where we're at, right? We're selling right now. So let's take a look at SPY one more time and see how we're doing on SPY. Topping pattern on SPY right at 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. How interesting, because 10:15. So what is 10:15? Is that an important number every morning? It kind of is if you don't know. So 10:15 is the mid-morning reversal, is what they call it. You could Google this stuff, people. So mid-morning reversal happens at 10:15 every day, and it lasts until about 10:30. Is that good to know if you were in profits here earlier today? Yes, it is. I used to have to put a little note on my computer to remind me. So maybe you might have to do that too. So typically speaking, mid-morning reversals at 10:15, and then we get a pullback, and that's exactly what we're doing. And so we have about 8 more minutes until this pullback, and then we get to see if we actually have a continuation of our pattern that happened this morning. Because, your pre-market levels, right? The pre-market, let me get that on my screen really quick. So if I go to here, equities, show extended hours. So I want to see the extended hours. And the reason is, if you're not acquainted with this, is that your extended hours of trading is actually your day's trading range. This is for any stock, any ETF. Think about that. So if, I want to know what my low is, and I want to know what my pre-market high is, because that's my trading range. So if I hit my pre-market high, as an example, and then I start to retreat from that, and price action starts to retreat from that, what's that saying to you? Well, it's saying that we're in range. We're not really trending, right? Bullish. But if we break out of our pre-market high or our pre-market low, then we're trending. We have a trending market. You're either trending bullish or you're trending bearish. So today we're trending bullish. We broke out of our pre-market levels. So we're not range trading today. And now we are trending bullish. So we made a higher high, basically, right? And so now we made a high and we made a low. It's still working itself out on a 15-minute, I might add, until we actually get another candle to pop up. Then we can say, okay, that's our low. But as you can see, we're bouncing right at consolidation. You can see how many targets that we've already hit using an ATR value, how many targets we've already hit on a 15-minute chart. If we look at a 5-minute chart as an example, you can see it more closely, where we never filled the gap. We broke above our pre-market high. As soon as we do that and we stay above the pre-market high, we are trending bullish. And now we're coming back, right? We're coming back to do a retest. In the easiest way to look at this is, as long as we stay really above, that pre-market high, we're trending bullish. Now, this trending label right here is actually just ADX. So you could Google that as well. ADX over 25 means that we have a trending market, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're trending bullish or bearish. It just means that we have enough of an audience there to make something happen. Isn't that a great indicator to have if you're one of those people that are always stuck in chop, right? So you can then identify, oh, is ADX over 25? Now, you could go right into Thinkorswim and get this indicator for free. It doesn't come as a label. It comes as an oscillator, but you can identify the levels, and you can, of course, Google that. But anything over 25 is trending. And it doesn't mean that it's trending bullish, doesn't mean it's trending bearish, just that there's enough of a crowd to make something happen. That's when you want your money in the market, especially if you're using a trade vehicle like a call or a put. Now, the other thing, too, to take into consideration is that though we're trending, right, the market ebbs and flows. That's just typical. You could see that our market from the open, the momentum has been positive. As soon as we broke down below that zero line, then we are, right, decelerating, basically. We're now underneath the 20, which to me is my favorite EMA to identify if we're trending bullish or bearish. Anything under is bearish. Anything over the 20 is bullish, right? We got some consolidation bands to show us where we've been consolidating. A break below this level means that we're going to go down further. And so I'm looking at a break of 583. We're really close to it right now. A break of 583, and we could come down and visit our pre-market high level. And then, oh my gosh, then it'll just be a washing machine reversed. Yesterday, or the day before, we broke below our pre-market low, did a little bit of a bounce, came back up, got back into our range. Is that what we're going to do today? I have no idea, but we'll soon find out. All right. So now that we're getting close to kind of the end of our segment, let me just put in Tesla and let's take a trade on Tesla. Oh, even the 5-minute on a daily looks good. Unfortunately, it's going to come up here and do a double top. Now, it's either going to do a double top or it's going to break the top, right? Make a higher high. So as far as a trend is concerned, you got a, at the open, you have your low, you have your high, you have a higher low. Are we going to make a higher high? We usually get on a 5-minute chart, by the way, if you're doing some day trades, you usually get like 2 of these moves, right? 2 of these moves of low, high, higher low, higher high. So we could break this top right here, but we'll have to see. Momentum's looking a little shallow. I would like to see that kind of get some oomph here. But I like the trade as a continuation trade for next week. So as I look at an hourly, now remember on a weekly, basis, if you're just doing weekly type of income where you're just doing a couple trades, trying to make $300 to $500 a week as an example, you want to look at the 15-minute and you want to look at the hourly chart. That can kind of give you a sense of where we're going short term. And to me, 3 to 5 days is short term. So with that in mind, you can see we're kind of at a topping pattern. You can see I'm a little I'm a little suspect here as I look at this. So our first hourly, we hit the pre-market high here, came back up, knocked on its door. We're going to knock on its door a third time. So I'm really actually looking for some continuation for Tesla for next week. Now, I don't know if it's going to just have enough momentum to keep on going, but if it does go sideways, a debit spread will handle that vehicle, that trade vehicle will handle that type of action so much better than just a long call. A long call, you really have to have diamond hands. You got to check on it. You got to make sure you automate your stop, etc. But when you have a debit spread, it's much easier to hold. So if you haven't tried this, I recommend it. Simulate everything before you actually do it for real. We do have some selling in the market, 643 over the entire market as I take a look at that, as we're hitting resistance, right? We still got a couple more minutes until mid-morning reversal. I'm still going to go for this. I'm going to take Tesla. I'm going to just take an at the money. Let's see here, 7 days out, right? November 7th. And I'm going to put this on vertical. And I'm going to take that 267.5 to 270 range. So I'm going to just do an at the money call debit spread on Tesla. It's $1.08. So I'm going to take 5 of these, and then we're going to see how this trade plays out. Now, does my whole risk have to be the $500? No, I can easily say, and by the way, I typically do, at 50%. If I lose 50% of my debit spread, which is going to be about $250 with 5 contracts, then I'm out of this trade. If it hits a 50% profit, what I'm doing is I'm trimming my trade. So I'll take a couple off at 50. I'll take a couple off at 60. You get my drift. And maybe just have a couple towards the end of the week, or, as it's still progressing. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do for today. You are basically buying, the way this trade is constructed, you're buying a 267.5 call. And at the same time, which is nice that the platform just does this for you. And at the same time, you're selling a 270 call. So you really have a hedged position. That's what it allows you to kind of have those, diamond hands to be able to hold through sideways or no action, or even maybe just a little bit below, right? If it goes against you a little, it allows you to hold on to this trade much easier than it would if you had a long call. You would just lose all of your premium on a long call. So with that in mind, that's the trade that I'm going to be taking. Oh, I'm in the wrong account. Let me get out of that one. Hold on for just a second. Get into the right account. Let's try that again. All right, music to my ears.
It's always nice when you hear that, especially if it's like a limit order to get out of a trade. It's like, you know what? I made money on it.
Yes, automation. So yeah, if you don't know, I queen of automation here. Love automation on Thinkorswim, and we're just now getting our 0 DTE SPX trades hooked up to a trading bot. So that's pretty exciting too. If you want to check out more info, tradingmadesimple.org, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right, appreciate it. Then I went ahead and put the link in the chat as well, so they're welcome to join you anytime. And thank you so much. We will see you next Friday.
We'll see you next Friday. Good luck, guys. Have a nice weekend.
All right,
Bye-bye.
see ya. All right, we say bye to Sandra, and then now we're going to go ahead and trade some futures with Apex here in a moment. Let me go ahead and find the right branding. There's that. Awesome. Give me a thumbs up, Jesse, whenever you're ready to come on the show. All right, what is going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up, man? Doing well. How about yourself?
Good. How was everything when you went to go check up on your house?
Good, man. Nothing happened down there, thank God. Everything was nice, smooth, clean, no issues. So, at least we escaped that one. Praying a lot for everyone out on the West Coast there, towards that Tampa area that got hammered.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, but hopefully things are, especially when they get hit with back-to-back ones, it's never fun. Let me quickly just talk about what Apex is and how it kind of works. So Apex is a eval funding platform. It's what I personally use as well with my own money. No one gives me anything for free. And it's pretty much the way that it works is I have a $50,000 account, like the eval, if you will. And if you go ahead and secure $3,000 in profit, you get what's called a funded account. So I pay about $40 with the sale. It's 80% off, so you can utilize that. I pay about $40 or so for the eval. If I pass the eval, I pay about $100 or so for the fee to get the funded account. So you're looking at about $150 and you get a drawdown. So a lot of people will misconstrue it and it's like, oh, I got a $50,000 account for like $150. I don't look at it that way, nor should you. It's a $2,500 drawdown. And of course, there are different rules that they came out with. So make sure you read up on that. But you get a chance to trade with a drawdown of approximately $2,500. And you get that for about $150 or so. So make sure you guys check them out. You can use promo code Fever. It helps out the show, helps us out as well. And I know you've used Apex quite a bit as well. I know you had a trade. Did you place it on Apex or was that your own funded, like your own personal account, man?
No, that was on Apex with one of my funded accounts.
Nice. How many funded accounts do you have, if I may ask?
I have about 14, 15.
14, 15. And they're all different sizes. I remember us talking last time, right? They're not all 50, 50.
Yeah, I got a handful of 250K ones. Not much, probably like 3 of them. And then the rest are all $50,000 ones. I like the $50,000 ones and the 250. Those two kind of like hit the sweet spot for me.
The 250 one, right? With the targets for getting the profit, do you, just being transparent here, do you just kind of be like, all right, look, one trade, either whether I hit it or I don't hit it in terms of when you're in the eval phase? Obviously, when you're in the funded phase, it's a little different. Or do you actually try to trade methodically as if it's like a real thing? Or do you just kind of, I don't want to say YOLO, but like, take on bigger risks so you hit it a little bit quicker?
Yeah, no, with the evals, I go on bigger risk because I have less risk, when it all comes down to it. So I just go on bigger risk on them, try to get them done faster so I can get them converted to funded PA accounts. And then I trade those like it's my regular money account, much smaller, much more methodical.
Do you use a copy trader or do you just individually place the trades for yourself?
So I'll use a copy trader on a handful of accounts. Like, for example, I have 3 50K accounts that I trade together, another 2 50K accounts that I trade together, stuff like that. And then I'll have the 2 50K ones, I generally trade them individually.
Got it. All right. Well, appreciate the insights there, man. Let me go ahead and pull up your charts. I know you and I were texting back and forth. You said you had a trade that you placed today. Walk me through it if you don't mind.
Yeah. So obviously these are the Qs right here. On my TC2000 charts, I just use TC2000 for charting and scanners. And I was waiting specifically for this test right here against VWAP in the 23.6 Fibonacci level. because that aligned itself. If we move on over here to this daily chart, you see these. Watch, let me circle this. I love this charting software for this. You see this circle right here?
Yeah.
Watch what happens when I put my crosshairs here on this zone, right across those tops.
Mm-hmm.
So I was waiting for that level to get tested since this first pullback.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen, just sat around, waited and waited and waited. And as soon as we caught that one right there, as soon as we got that dip, I actually, beforehand, I wrote in my free Discord, I wrote, guys, I'm watching for this level on the Qs, which coincided with the 620 zone. And I was like, if we get down there and hold, I'm going to look for the long. And I got it. I actually recorded it because I was like, you know what? It'll be great to show the guys there on. And here it is. It was about, here's before I entered the trade. You can see we're trading at 649. We'll fast forward a little bit.
I like this. It's cool.
See how we got that drop really quickly into 620? I got long one lot. I ended up taking 2 lots on this. I got long 1 lot. There's my ad. And I instantly went into it because I just had a lot of confidence in it. It was a daily level. I had on the Qs, I had VWAP and the 23.6 Fibonacci level. We had very light volume on the drop. I was like, you know what? This is pretty low risk here. So I'm long from a 34 average, and my stop is going to be right in that 14 zone. I was like, you know what? This just makes sense. I'm going to risk about $800 for the shot at least making about 1,600.
Yeah,
now, I got
so
shy.
It's 2-1 then for you.
Yeah, I got shy on the take there, and I didn't get the full $1,600, but I did make $1,200. So it's still a pretty damn good risk reward.
Yeah, I'd love to see where you took out the trade. Then I know I'm sure it's a longer video, but if you want to kind of
see how
with it,
we started to get that pop there. I was already up over $1,000. You see it up here.
Nice.
And we can fast forward a little bit. I put out a profit target right there. Why? Very simple, guys. You see how previously this was a level of support in here? I was like, it might be resistance now. Let me just take a little piece there, be prudent, and then I can move my stop up, and I can't lose on the trade.
So when you have sorry, real quick. When you have, so say for example, you mentioned the resistance part of like the 3 candles that you were pointing out there. Say just for easy math, that's at, I don't know, say 20,000, right? Are you placing your targets at like say 19,999? Like where are you trying to take profits around there? You know, give us an idea.
Okay. So like when I identify a zone, right, especially on the NQ, you got to be a little bit generous because it's volatile. It's volatile. So let's say just like you said, for a nice round number, 20,000. And my target is 20,000. I'll try to take my profit off around 95, 94, 97. You know, I won't. When I get too greedy, I get punished.
Yeah, I'm sure. Especially like, you know, with something like this where we're watching a replay of what your actual trades were, you had a profit of $1,000. Now I get kind of cut in half by 500, right? To me, sometimes I struggle and I'm like, whatever, 500 is better than nothing. So I'll just take the 500, but then you kind of see it run back up and it's like, man, yeah, you can't go broke taking profits, but you can not be as well off as you would have been if you just stuck to your R&R.
Like, there's a reason why we have the rules and we identify the chart patterns. It's our job to let it play out. And it was an internal battle because everything you just said there, it was inside of me. I've been doing this now for like going on 8 years, and I still have that same battle inside of me. So I'm there like, bro, I should have just taken the $1,000, put it in my pocket. But in the back of my mind, I was like, bro, but if you get that crazy candle all the way to 680, this could be a $2,000 trade. And then what happens is you close the trade out too early. It does the move you expected, right? A little bit later, and then you have FOMO. So I don't like that. So I try my best, and I did it.
Even right there, look at that. Like, look how close it came to your profit targets, and then it just said, yeah, maybe not.
Like, not today.
Yeah.
So here, I'll fast forward a little bit more. We started pulling back. You know what I said to myself was,
I'd be so stressed. The second time it comes down, I'd be so stressed.
Look, what I was thinking was if we pulled back into this 620 zone, and again, we had another wick like this, I was going to add another contract to this.
Yeah.
Because then that zone is just super established. You got to think that now whoever got short is like, can I get, I can get under 620. I'm going to just cover. And then you get more net buyers into this and you probably get a nice squeeze. Now, it didn't work out that way fully. For me, it's a green trade, right? So you watch. Let me fast forward. We start to get that bounce off of 640. You got to remember also previous level here, 640.
Yeah.
Support, new high. Pulled in, violated, got to 620. Now we're holding 640. This should give you, and it was giving me confidence.
Nice.
We're
Oh,
almost
see
done
right
with
there
it.
again. Man, I'd be so paranoid, but I'm
So there
glad,
I
I'm glad
took
it all worked out. Yeah.
I got it off. Like my tick was taken off
Yeah.
right there. I'm one lot left. We're up $400. I was really holding it now to see if we got that crazy candle through 680. When we didn't, and we kind of started to struggle, I saw volume start to dry up a little bit. I was like, all right, I just exited. Here, I'll put my stop up here just underneath my entry on it. So
Yeah.
now you just can't lose. You know, you made money all around. And I was going to try my best to let it roll a little bit more, but till we get back up there, and I'm like, come on, let's just get through 680. And we're struggling there. We can't get through it. And right around here, I think, is when I start to look to take it off.
Nice.
Right here, 645 or 70s. Few seconds left in that trade. Because honestly, I really thought we'd just get one of those huge candles. We don't get it. I take it off right there.
Yeah.
And you can see, look where we're at right now. Would have been stopped. This is why it's so important to scale out.
Yeah.
You imagine you get long, right? Like
Yeah.
I did. And then you're like, I'm not taking a lick of profit until I'm up here.
Oh yeah.
Now you're stopped out, lost on the whole trade.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like it gets, you have to kind of, you know, it gets tricky. Like I'll give you an example. So I'll kind of quickly share my charts on this one. So I'm in this trade. It's not a futures trade at the moment, but it is a trade on McDonald's because they had some more E. coli news that came out. So I am in personally at, what's my position here? I am in 295 puts on McDonald's that expired today. And, you know, for me, it's kind of like, okay, I have 295 puts, so they need to like at least, and I paid about 80 cents for it. So I'm hoping that it at least gets to like, say 294-ish or whatever. But I'm also looking at like, well, what if it just kind of continues to bleed? Now the market's obviously hot at the moment, but so, you know, it's not like we have a weak market, but it's kind of like, okay, do I take the gains here? I'm up 60% on a YOLO, but do I wait for 100%? What do I do? And it's just kind of like watching this go down and come back up like a little bit as a 1 minute chart. It's always like, okay, do I just take the gains? Do I just take the 30%? That's pretty solid. You know what I mean? For a few minutes, what do I do? I don't know, but we'll see how it plays out. But just to kind of point out that, yeah, I get what you mean.
You can scale out if you got a couple of contracts. Just take, you know, put some money in your pocket and then let that other one be a scratch off.
Yeah, so that's the way. So when I enter this trade, I've got a couple of contracts. So two, literally, I spent about $80 on each one, so about $160 of a YOLO, if you will. And so for me, it's like, all right, cool. The first one, since it's a YOLO in the sense of I will lose 100%, I want 100% at least on one of the contracts. And the second one, I can go ahead and let it run. So at least it's like, all right, cool. I got a 1-to-1, whatever the case may be. And again, if I lose, it is what it is. I'm okay with it. Again, you know, based on everyone's risk parameters, it might be different. But that's kind of how I'm watching this one at the moment. Keeping an eye on the NQ here. Let me kind of see what else we can make here. Do you have any support or resistance for like future trades that you're keeping an eye on? Anything kind of in the Qs, and we can go to the ES as well. Any other daily supports for folks to keep an eye on?
Yeah, let me go ahead and bring up my
no worries. I see you trying to change it.
Charts.
Keep this here like that.
Okay.
All right, tell me what you got.
Okay, so right now today we tested right up here. This is the daily chart in the NQ. This is a major resistance zone, right? Because it was a previous level of support. We've broken underneath it, and we have been unable to break back up over it. So it's very simple to me, right? We're looking at this level now, which is this 700 zone. So when you say zone, especially on the NQ, it's kind of like 650 to like 720, 730 area. If we can break up and over that level and hold it as support, then we just got to be watching for that move right back up here to 21,000. But if we cannot break it and now it starts to hold resistance, then we definitely got to eyeball it for a move back down here to probably the 400 zone. Now, we got big earnings coming up next week. A lot of mega tech companies are reporting. So it could go in, any insanity can happen. And we just cannot, we got to wait for the levels. In other words, you can't get ahead of ourselves. So I'm dying for earnings season to end already so we can kind of trade more on the technical side of things.
Yeah.
And have more confidence in it versus having that random overnight news that causes big gap ups and big gap downs with chop.
That's so interesting because so many traders will mention like, oh, I can't wait for earnings, right? So a little bit of different opposite of like, oh, I want the volatility, I want this and then the other, but it just kind of goes to show that like, not like two things can be true at once, you know?
Yeah.
So you can always have different strategies, different risk parameters based on what you're trading, how you're trading it and whatnot. So it's awesome that you kind of point that out as well. So that's the NQ. What are you looking at on the ES?
ES. Let's bring up the ES daily chart here real quick. And the 15-minute chart. So on the ES, since I don't really trade the ES that often anymore, one key level for me, and I mean, this is plain as day, doesn't take a master chartist to see it, is this 870 zone.
Yeah.
At least for like an intraday bounce play. If you can hold this 870 zone like we're trying to hold, you could see some bounces there for some scalps. As far as more of the long-term play, it's going to be very similar to the NQs. You know, we're struggling up here in front of this 930, 927 zone. If you can't get up over that level, I have to imagine you get back down here to 800 and probably underneath it for a drop maybe into the 700s. But again, it's all going to come down to these earnings. You know, you could have Nvidia come out next week. I think Nvidia's next week, if I'm not mistaken, with some monster earnings. And then all of a sudden you get a monster gap up in this market.
Yeah.
And then it just spends the whole day chopping around sideways, digesting the move, chopping up everybody that's trying to trade it intraday. And that's the problem for me as an intraday trader. I want these earnings to end already so that I can have, you know, like another leg up or down intraday. That's what we're getting a lot of moves, like one and doneers. And that's why I was a little bit quicker on the take profits today as well, as same as yesterday. I'm just being quicker on my take profits because we're getting a lot of one and then a done. You're not getting that one leg up, pull back to support, and then another leg up. You're not really getting that all that often right now.
Yeah. That continuation sometimes can be a bit, you know, annoying to mess with. So if we take a look at here, let me go to take a look at my charts here. So this is like the SPY. Let's see, let's get out of there. You're kind of just, you know, you had a move and you just kind of chopped around a little bit. You tried to go back, you came right back up. So it's kind of like, all right, what are we doing here to figure things out? And not to mention, not only do you have earnings, but you also have the election as well, right? So that's another one. That's not next week, but it's less than 2 weeks. So that's also something that the markets are, I don't want to say waiting for, but also anticipating, because the moves are happening based on whatever odds they're seeing, whatever, you know, or however you want to see it, however you want to play it. There's so many different ways to play the elections now. You have like the sports betting odds, you have the predictive market odds in terms of your Kalshis, and then you also have the markets as well, you know? So it's like, if you believe, you know, energy, if that's where you're going, then it depends on which candidate you think is going to win, different things like that. So many different ways to play it as well. Yeah,
pretty much. And that's what we're seeing. So I would not be surprised to see a lot of sideways trading leading up into the elections, even despite earnings season ending, or the bigger names ending pretty soon. And look, at the NQs are just as similar as what you were just saying. You know, at least intraday, you had the one big move up right out the gates this morning when the U.S. session opened up. You had one quick little pullback. You pushed up to a new intraday high, and then we've just been sideways ever since.
And we'll see how things go ahead and play out on that end. Did you get a recent payout from Apex? Like, tell us a little bit about, I don't need to know the dollars amount, but just like, you know, how often do you get paid out from there? How often do you cash out? What's your strategy there?
Remember, so this month, October, I had placed multiple payouts. I got them all paid, $6,000.
You were above 30%, really. Think, right?
I went after that one since we had the rule changes coming up. I was like, hey, I might get lucky and be able to get that one forgiven before the new rules set in. But no dice. So I had those accounts up, $10,000 in profit on each. I put in a request for $2,000, got denied. It's my own fault. I violated the 30% rule. You know what I mean? So we're just trading them. We're gonna keep trading them, and sometime hopefully in November we'll get those paid out.
Nice. And do you know what percent you're at the moment?
I don't know. I need $3,000 or so more.
Have it balanced it out and things like that. And I know they actually just had a rebrand as well with like the logos and things like that.
Yeah, they changed the logos. I saw that yesterday.
It's always interesting with what's the 30% rule? Do you want to explain that real quick?
Yeah. So okay, let's say you have, like, for example, for me right now, right, I have $10,000 in profit in the account. the 30% rule means that I cannot have made more than $3,000 in one given day on the account.
Right.
And if you do, then you've violated the 30% consistency rule. So it's kind of like a rule that they've put in place to keep gamblers away.
Yeah.
For me, it was just I had a really good trend day. So that day, I ended up taking a short trade, made $2,000 on it, and then we got a nice bounce off the level after the short was covered, and I got long, and I made another $2,000. I was like, I've never been mad to make money.
Yeah.
And so instead of that being, now I have $4,000 that I made that day. So in order for me to get now to a point where I'm not violating the 30% rule, I got to get the accounts into a balance of about 13,300. And then at that point, we're good to go. I can put in for the payout request.
Nice. All right. Yeah. And there you go. I linked the FAQ in the chat as well. If LA2 Max, you want to take a look at that. Again, if you do sign up for the Apex evals, would love for you to use promo code Fever. It'll always get you the best discount available. And of course, it helps us out here at the Showtime as well. All right, man, before we go ahead and hop off, any other insights, any other charts or anything like that you want to discuss on your end?
Chart wise, not really. Just kind of like a mental thing. Like I'll use myself as an example. I don't trade very well during earnings season, despite today's really nice day, green being up over $1,200 or so. I don't tend to trade very well during earnings season. So today I came into the day and I told everybody in my Discord, guys, I'm going to be taking it slow. I'm going to be taking it easy. I'm not going to add a lot of risk today.
Yeah.
I know my data, so I'm going to trade according to that. So my only thing would be, if you're like me and you get chopped up during earnings season, consider trading a little bit smaller until it's over.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the insights. I know we're just a few minutes away from that, but for me personally, I think the only thing I have is just my McDonald's trade. Thankfully, continues to flush. I would love for this to get to 293. Or excuse me, what do I have? 294. So ideally 294 would be great if I can get there before, like, say 12, so in the next 8 minutes. But otherwise, I think 293 and anything below that would just be straight money to kind of end the week that's been solid so far. But appreciate your time here, man. And then hopefully we'll see you next Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. Have yourself a great weekend. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. You got it. Oh, real quick. Sorry. Before you go, tell the folks where they can find you. My bad.
Oh, no worries. Trading with Jesse W on YouTube. I actually put out a brand new video yesterday. I think you guys are going to like it a lot. And of course, you can always check out the daytraderchatroom.com for more information about me and everything that we do together.
All right, man. Appreciate that. There is a link in the chat to your, to your YouTube channel. And then I also see you've got Hustle with Jesse W as well. Is that the same one or is that something different?
No, that's just the brand I started off with, but I just changed the name on the channel since it kind of took the direction of just trading on the channel. Yeah. So I was like, all right, that's it. We'll just change the channel name.
Gotcha. All right. Well, appreciate you, man.
Yep. Same here, buddy. Take care.
Yeah. All right, chat. We appreciate, wrong person. There you go. That's me. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, as always, make sure you go ahead and trade safely. Don't go all in on everything that you can't afford to lose. Don't play with your rent money, because the toughest thing that I've learned as I've started to continue, or as I've traded now for about 4 years, profitable for about 3 of them, is that when you trade because you have to pay the bills, you end up adding more emotional stress, emotional negative energy, for you to just force something that you otherwise wouldn't take just because I got to pay the bills, just because it's 6 days away from rent being due. So I got to go ahead and make this trade. You'll just end up digging yourself into a bigger hole. So, everyone's strategy is going to be different based on their risk parameters, based on what's going on in their life. If something is going on in your life, maybe take a break. Maybe don't trade while you're dealing with a breakup. I don't know. But nonetheless, appreciate you guys for joining us again. Check out Apex, 80% off with promo code Fever. That promo code will always get you the best available discounts. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at Zunaid@benzinga.com.